We'll bring this Hermosa Town Board meeting to order Tuesday, July 2nd, 24, regular meeting. Roll call, Henderson, she's absent. Kramer here, Ferguson here, Kuntz
Here.
Harris is also absent. She is sick and also had a tooth pulled today. She was going to be here by phone, and it is possible she still may call in. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Hello, Anthony.
Hello.
Tonight, and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. To call for changes, review of the current agenda items, and Terry has a few changes.
So we are going to move item 12F under Finance Office to Engineer. So that'll be 6D. And we'd also like to add under Engineer, Clomer and Environmental Clearance Work Authorization.
So a D and an E under engineer.
And then also under Finance Office, we're going to add Friday, July 5th office hours.
Hi, Kent.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Thank you.
The pies are over there.
Does anybody have anything else that they'd like to add or change? Okay, very good. That brings us to meeting protocol, the same as it has been. Raise your hand, classroom style. No adoptions of special rule of order. Do we need to just take that off? That's
What's that?
the
Oh, let me-
adopt a special rule of order. Is there
Did
anything?
we get a motion for approving the agenda?
Oh,
As
I
a-
guess not, sorry.
as amended?
Motion to approve the agenda. Thank you, Terry.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good, thank you. Okay. Back to the adopt a special rule of order. I don't think we need that on there. Let's remove that. I'll make that motion.
Yep, no sense of continuing that.
Mhm,
So you're removing B and under special items?
mhm. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you. Consent calendar, approval of June 18th regular meeting minutes.
I make a motion, we accept the regular meeting minutes of the...
Donna makes the motion.
Second.
Cal seconds it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you. Anybody know of any conflict of interest that we have tonight? Anybody? No? Okay. Anthony, that brings me right to you.
Okay, so first one on the list is the water distribution model and water facilities plan supplement. And that includes an evaluation of well two. So prepared a proposal. Basically, it kind of everything gears around funding. So we have funding that's from Custer County, that's grant, and then we have an SRF loan, which is from the state. And so each of them has things that are eligible and ineligible. The state's big thing is they don't want us to use their funding on fire volume, so fire flow or volume. So for whatever reason, they exclude that as an eligible expense. They'll improve pressure, that's okay. But if you're trying to put out a fire, you need 1,000 gallons per minute or 1,500 gallons per minute in a commercial area for 2 hours. So that's volume, right? And so that is something that Custer County has no problem with us using their money for. So in order for us to kind of prioritize and then strategize how we deploy our funds, the water model helps us do that, because it'll help us, it's citywide, so it'll encompass all our deficiencies, and that way we can prioritize how we solve, for example, putting out a fire on the west side of town, how we solve low pressure issues, and then in the other, if we have like any undersized pipe in small areas or what have you, that'll flush that out. And then I'll be able to put a list together of priorities to get us with good pressure, minimum pressures, minimum volumes to put out a fire, and the steps we need to take. And then the cost estimate of the one for the fire volume, because then I have to go, Custer County would like me to report back in August to the commissioners meeting. They said that they've approved every time we've asked them for something, they've approved it, but you still gotta ask. So that's where I'm headed with it, so.
Okay. Good.
So that's basically the gist of that proposal.
Okay.
And that includes the time for voting meetings and everything too.
And that has to be signed, right?
And you need my signature on that one? Is that the one I already signed?
No.
Yeah, the front page, because that's the water
Okay.
system, so that's the new
All right.
contract.
So, I need a motion to.
I guess I need a motion to be able to sign that. How does everybody feel about that?
Yeah, we'll have to have the motion on the floor to have the discussion, so I'll make the motion.
Okay, thank you. Donna?
I second that motion.
Thank you, dear.
I daydreaming.
All those in favor? Oh, we just need to discuss it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see, so it's for 31,000, right?
Mhm.
And, oh, sorry. I did,
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
So. I mean, this is basically how we access this grant and this SRF via your firm.
Yes.
Right, so, I mean, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't. Do you guys, you guys, I mean, Terry's more acquainted with the finances, so is there any financial reason we shouldn't do this, Terry, or anything that you see?
This can be taken out of the grant,
Absolutely, yeah.
paid back by the grant,
Yep.
the
Oh,
fees
okay.
for that,
You can
so,
reimburse it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
There's a breakdown on page 2 of the attachment A as well, in the payment fees. So you can kind of see how that 31,000 breaks down. So you got 10,900 to update the water distribution map and document research on well 2. That involves going around the whole entire town and GPSing surface shots so that I know where the pipe is relative to the surface. And we have some changes in elevation and topography here, so
yeah.
that's in that 10.9. And then building the model and doing the report on that model is 13.8. And that's going to be done with other members of Benish, our hydraulics team.
Okay.
And then supplement to the water facilities plan. So I'm not going to rewrite the facilities plan. I'm going to create a supplement to that. It saves you a ton of money because I don't have to rewrite other
Okay.
things. I can just indicate bullet points of the change of priorities and things that I'm adopting from the old facilities plan, and then things that I'm going to, that I'm reprioritizing and recosting, bring it up to today's costs. Because once we do all that work, that's when we want to actually update the entire facilities plan, not before we do it, right? So that way we know we funded it and it's built, and now there's a change in the town, right? So then we can look at how we capitalize on that investment. And then the $1,600 is meetings with Custer County, and I got to prepare a presentation for the commissioners, so I want to have some conceptual drawings or something of what we're planning on doing. So.
Okay. Any other questions, comments from the board? From the citizens? Dan, you had something?
Yeah, on this then, Anthony, this will set us up to go towards the WRT then?
So well 2 is in here, But I've already spoken, like I said I would do, with K&D perforators in Upton, Wyoming. I had a conversation with Norman is his last name, and he was here. And actually, he had done some work on our well too. So a big part of this is for me to gather all the research from the time it was drilled, so, you know, everything that's been done, because they would like me to gather all that together and have a meeting with them. And then they can see what's the appropriate things that we can still do to perforate the well to get capacity back, right? Because they don't want to duplicate effort. If there's stuff that's already been done,
Yep.
we've already paid for it, then we want to maximize that. And so there's different strata in the logs of the well too. And so to answer your question, I mean, WRT we're going to do, guaranteed, but we want to first know how much water we can bring back into well two, which is going to bring back in more other things too that we have to treat out.
Right.
So the idea is maximize perforation and capacity of well two, however we can without duplicating effort. Then pump it and do testing then, after pumping it for a week, right? So we can draw that stuff back in. Now that lab data will basically design that WRT, because we'll know exactly what we need to take out. And that's what New Underwood did. And they did that pretty successfully. And it was a sand filtration style WRT, so that's the route we're going.
Yep, then that's what we did the first time is
Yeah.
opened everything up, found out the bad zones, closed the bad zones back off, which of course brought production down. And then we took it to the level where we left it there, and then we're gonna go to the next step with the WRT, so.
Yeah,
That's why
let's-
I wondered, and then with that level, then that'll also where you'll be sizing a booster in with this water facility portion of it as
The
you're
model
going through
will,
it?
yep, the model will flush all those needs out. So that'll be included in that model recommendation.
Yep, I like that.
Chuck, do you have any comments?
No, we kind of went over all this stuff.
Jerry?
I'd just like to say thanks again to Anthony. He is really bringing some great technical input to us, and working with the regulators, working with the county. I just want to thank him again. He's doing wonderful for the town.
Yeah, and I will bring back, when K&D and I are done with our evaluation, I will bring back a presentation of what we've discovered, what can be done, what capacities we can bring back, and then, you know, details into the WRT and our recommendations in our water model. So,
Okay, very good. Any further discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thanks. So the next one is just a continuation of the lagoon expansion and treatment plant. So on your desk is a permit application. I wrote our permit.
Mhm.
I have those here, you need the original or a copy?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, they don't care.
In a
Yeah.
copy?
Yeah, it's notarized, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
And
we're
I
good.
can scan it and email it to you also.
That'll
Just
work.
got it signed tonight.
Perfect. So what that does is, that goes to the state. That allows us, when this is approved, which they can take up to 6 months, they said, right? But they've already told me that I'm already on the line, so.
Good.
Even though they haven't received it. So they will allow us to discharge into the Battle Creek fully treated water. We won't have to irrigate, but we can. This permit says that we will intermittently discharge. So when we're not irrigating, we will discharge into the Battle Creek. And when we're irrigating, it'll be fully treated, so we don't have to stay a quarter of a mile away from homes.
Woo-hoo.
That's what that permit does.
And that's the
So you
one you
basically
just
get,
signed?
like a combination of Apple Springs permit and our current permit. That's what you get.
Awesome. Thank you, Anthony.
Yep.
That's great.
And they already know it's coming, so they're ready for it.
Yay. Okay.
So the contract is just, we already have a contract to do the lagoon expansion and treatment. This is like a work authorization to take it to construction. So that was what was not in that price. And so that involves all the steps of construction, inspection, and supervision, contract administration. So I'm going to move forward with the bid as soon as our environmental clearance and everything, and that's another line item in here. So actually, if you want, I could jump to that, Clomer and
Okay.
clearance,
Go for it.
and then we'll come back to this. So the Clomer and clearance, so, here's our response from FEMA on the Clomer. So it's two-pronged. They said, if you want a Clomer, there's 8 nitpicking things you have to do for us to give you a Clomer. And I'm being fair, they would probably admit it, they're nitpicking. Or you could just say, tell the state floodplain management, you don't need a Clomer because your model proved that you didn't rise above a foot when you put in the new lagoon design. Because I moved the lagoons, remember, 33 feet to the north from the original design. So I took it out of the floodway. So in reality, as long as I don't raise the floodplain by more than a foot, we don't need a Clomer. So they said, if you want to continue with a Clomer, do these 8 little things, you know. One of them's refill out this form and show it with and without the access road. I don't even know why they care about that, but little things that we can do with maps. Or have this, so Mark Macy, we've contacted Mark Macy at the state,
Okay.
as he's the floodplain manager for the state. We just want to get a written confirmation from him. And then I'm going to request, if he confirms we don't need a Clomer based on our HECRAS model, I'm going to request a refund. Because we paid $7,000 for this application, and they could have just said that, you don't need it, you know?
Right.
We've studied your HECRAS model, you don't need it. But they said, well, if you want a Clomer, then yeah, you know, this is what we do. So they're kind of silly, because this is a company, right? Like FEMA doesn't do anything. They hired CDM Smith, which is a company like Benish, that has the contract to do all these things. So of course,
Okay.
they don't get paid their review fees, so they give you the option of having a Clomer if you don't need one. So, you know, and maybe there's other circumstances other than ours where it's absolutely necessary. So they don't really look into our business of how we're getting funded. So that's the Clomer. Environmental clearance, there's something called Section 404, and that's DANR. I'm already forecasting what they'll do in this 45-day window to allow it to, we have to wait to go out to bid, is they're going to tell us, do a desktop review of wetland delineation and tell us there's no wetlands there because it's been farmed for all these years. So that takes 12 hours of desktop review in our Omaha office. And then 4 hours for the floodplain construction permit. So a total of 16 hours. And if you look in your packet on the last page of that work authorization, there's a updated cost estimate.
Okay.
And on the bottom, there's a question mark next to Clomer environmental clearance. Because I didn't have any word back yet. This is all pretty fresh. I mean, since 24th of June till now is when I've been getting all this feedback. So 8 days. So,
Yep.
so I just got it all. So that's why that line item should say, you know, whatever the equivalent of 16 hours is. So it's like 40 times 120 times 16, if you want the dollar amount.
Sure.
So it's 2,000.
Okay.
So if you guys want to motion and discuss that one, and then we can go back to the
Yeah.
other one.
Take a motion to add that to the total cost,
Okay, yeah.
change to the cost.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Second.
got a motion and a second. Any questions, any comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
So that'll allow you to sign the work authorization?
Yep.
All right, so let's go back to lagoon expansion. So now that lets me get it through DNR's 45-day window and out to bid. And so I'll just need you to authorize me to go ahead with contractor selection and construction engineering.
Okay, need another motion?
I'll make the motion that we go to, was it contractor selection and
Construction engineering.
construction engineering?
Okay, do I have
I'll
a
second that.
Any comment, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yay,
Okay.
I'm getting excited.
That's
Really?
water and sewer. So, this one is the agenda item that got bumped up from previous. This is the letter that your town planner, Neil Putnam, sent to help you with your water and sewer ordinances.
Oh, okay, great.
I got some extras. So, basically, the gist of this letter is that you have an on-call budget that when we first were hired, we transferred over from my previous firm, and it renews every October 15th. And so it's a $10,000 on-call budget. We kind of use it as a catch-all, but it's really been more to help you guys with ordinances, planning, zoning. And a lot of times that budget gets replenished as people pay fees. So like if there's a planning's review, sometimes you can collect the money ahead of time and there's never any reimbursement. Sometimes you have to do it and then bill for it and get, so they can get their permit, right? So, but as we approach the end of the year, what we're proposing is, because it has to be spent anyways, so I want you to benefit from it, is that we address these hot button items in the ordinances that are causing a lot of headache potentially, like who owns the meters and how do you pay for them and how do we maintain them and what's the rules on that and how do we enforce it. And so that's what this does. It's 20 hours of planning time that'll help you address two things. One is the big item with the water meters that we were discussing with Chuck. And so he'll be able to apply what's commonly done throughout the state, South Dakota. I mean, he was the planner for Mitchell for 23 years. And so we'll apply some, with your input obviously, we'll create that legal ordinances and then have the town attorney review it. And then the second part is, I need to have how we enforce ordinances in the sewer system regarding industrial discharges. And that's for that permit. So the one thing they said in that permit, the one that for the discharges, you need to have something in your ordinance that says commercial and industrial people are not going to discharge something nasty that ends up in the Battle Creek. Has to be in an ordinance.
Okay.
So we got to do that anyways.
Rewrite that.
We'll couple that with what we need with water, and we basically can use up that 20 hours between now and October 15th.
And do you believe that 20 hours will be enough to handle that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and there's nothing more important that would need to be used for that?
We have extra, we have a little bit more in
Okay.
case things come up.
Okay.
And, we could probably, build that. We got like a 60-day window, so we could probably work with that. I'm not burning it completely up. There's maybe another 10 hours there, plus or minus, that we could use if something comes up. But it'll replenish on the 15th, so
Right.
we can work it out in billing if something comes up.
Cal, this was kind of your deal, you were kind of working on that. How do you feel about this?
Well, I mean, it says the review, so it's basically a maximum of 2,500, but I think you said we basically already spent 10K for the on-call.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had, when I came over, came over from Benish, we had about 7,300
Oh, okay.
left. And so I just said, we'll work with the remaining budget and then wait till October 15th and continue as we always have. What I would want to do though, because we have a new structure here for our contracts, is we'll have that on-call contract and then I'll come to you with work authorizations. So that way you have kind of a good record of how that 10,000 is spent in the future, because then you can say, well, we had work authorization this and it used this much and that's what it was for. It'll look like this paper here, and you have numbers to them, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sure. I guess what I'm asking is though, is it's part of a budget that's already been accounted. Like we've already spent the money, so we're just trying to get value out of money we already spent.
Yeah, theoretically, you've already spent it, right? I mean, we haven't invoiced it yet, but it was it was a very interesting approach, and I think it's good for a town of this size that you have that $10,000 budget that kind of, you know, it allows the engineering firm to know, well, this is something that we can use towards our planner, or we, you know, it helps us with staffing database is what it does. Because then I know, well, Neil's gonna be doing that much for this town, and actually we're duplicating that in other towns, so that was a good action.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, if we did this, what would you need from us? Do we need to come up with our own versions of the ordinances, or do we just need to give you guys an outline of what we
Yeah.
need to have in there?
I think I'll let Neil spearhead it, being his experience and area of expertise, but I think you'll have a meeting with whoever you want, if you're gonna be the spearhead, and kind of have a preliminary meeting, then he'll come up with a draft, he'll bring it to you, so all you have to do is review it and make comments, and then, you know, we'll formulate it like that, try to make it as painless as possible.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not a planner, I'm an engineer, that's the boring part of my profession, but it's gotta be done.
Different department. Okay,
Well, I mean, I guess I don't see any issue with doing that. Do you, Donna?
No, I think we need to just let them go ahead and take care of it.
Yeah.
any comments, questions? No? Chuck?
I've been working, excuse me, pretty closely with it. And we're at the point where we're cleaning up that discharge ditch that was put in 1961, and it has suffered a few things over the years. And quite a bit of silt and stuff is in there from the flood. And it's required an awful lot of handwork to clean that out. That V-ditch was poured in 1961. It's not real thick, but it is a situation where it's 4 feet of wide and narrows down to a foot, with the bottom being 1 foot wide.
Okay.
So you're pretty limited with what you can get in there to clean it out. So we devised a couple of different methods, and we have all that out of there at this point. So we're right now to the point where we're going to flush it and clean it up, and there are some cracks and areas there that are going to need some repair. Nothing huge, but you know, to be able to maintain that flow of water. The pipe that goes from there, from the manhole to actually the creek, has got quite a bit of silt in it. So we'll have to back that out or flush it out, one of the two. If it's open enough, it's going to take a substantial amount of water to do that. I think we'll be using creek water, and of course that flows up red flags everywhere. However, Nagabowers have a permit to withdraw from the creek, and I feel this whole situation is kind of designed around irrigation to their property, so I don't think there's any issues with using, but we need like 2,000 gallons or something at a time to start the flushing process and clean that stuff out. So we're refurbishing my back truck to be able to do that, and back the water back up to that point and flush it and clean it up so we can make the repairs and stuff. And it's going along pretty good. There's a lot of other things that are interfering with some of that. It's not something we're working on every day, all day long. But we're continuing to refurbish that so it's going to be usable. And the idea is for our initial discharge and also in the future. So it's not something that's just getting refurbished for a one-time thing, that we will be using that in the future. So
Okay.
and some of the ongoing costs that you've noticed in the claims, that the man hours, there's a lot of man hours involved. Hand shoveling, but obviously with only a foot wide, it had about, in several places, you know, there was a couple feet of silt in there, and over the years, it took grass, so I mean, it's just like sod. And some of those roots have actually perforated some of the cracks and whatever's in there, so it's coming out really tough. We were able to, with a new cutting edge on the Bobcat bucket, we can go down one side wall, scrape across the bottom and come up the other side. And but we don't get it all. I mean, there's some falls in, and then, so there's a tremendous amount of handwork, shoveling and one thing and another, so. And being only 4 foot wide, you can't really straddle it with anything, you know, to be able to. I have a landscaping rake that's 6 foot, and it fits on the front of the Bobcat, so we were able to reach in and pull some of that stuff out too. So it's kind of amazing how much is really in there, you know, over the years. Erosion and stuff off the field. But we've got it cleaned out.
Good.
And like I said, we're in the process of flushing that. And Anthony was going to come down and take a look at what's happening. So we've retrieved the pipe from where it was and got it over to the area where we're going to attempt to hook it up and one thing and another. So it's moving along.
Okay.
Been trying to keep Cal kind of in the loop too. And
Good.
so, like I said, it's been nice working with Anthony, and it's coming together.
Good, thank you, Chuck. So after what he said, it makes me wonder, and he just answered, you have not looked at it since it's been cleaned out?
I've seen it when he mowed it and did, you know, the initial cleanup. I got pictures of it. He's trying to get some of the solids out so that when we utilize it for irrigation, because we're saving, what, 1,000, 1,200 feet or something like that, maybe more, from the lagoons to the road, and then from there he can pipe it, pump it and pipe it. You know, to pick up solids, and we're not allowed, we have to test it at the end of the pipe. So, you know, we don't want an excessive amount of solids that will flag us. So that's why he's doing the best he can. When it comes to our permit, so to utilize that for future in our permit discharge, our permit outfall is actually at the lagoon. So we test up there,
Okay.
and they don't care what happens when it goes from the lagoon to, now, obviously, if we see a reason to be suspicious, like there's a sheen in the water or something, you know, in the Battle Creek, then we should test it. But normally outfalls are right at the end of the plant. So so that's the two purposes for his effort. It saves us over $100,000 in putting in an outfall. So there's a big savings revitalizing that ditch. And then it serves an immediate purpose for irrigation. So,
My question is, Chuck mentioned cracks.
yeah.
How, is the state gonna come down to inspect that, and will the cracks being filled with something, you know, glued together, whatever, however you wanna call it, that will be all right
Yeah.
with the state?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right, that's.
It's like a spillway, you know, and some spillways are riprap, so they're just broken rock, you know.
Right.
What that does is it induces mixture and aeration. It does things actually positive.
Okay. Go ahead, Cal.
So I believe we have 2 motions on the floor right now, is that correct, Terry? And then we're in discussion on the one for,
I think just the one.
Just the one.
okay, so we're just in discussion on the one for, to have Neil review and the water meter ordinance, and then any industrial or commercial outfall.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so, I don't know, do you think we're ready for the vote on that?
Any other questions or comments? We're ready for a call. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So there was a 6D, but I'm not quite sure what it was, Terry.
That was a KLJ invoice. If
Okay.
you wanna see that,
Yeah,
where we didn't pay those.
yeah. So, I advised Terry that, I looked at the breakdown, I asked him to give us the breakdown hour. And I noticed that after leaving, they had put on about $950 of hours, and I'm not quite sure what it is, because they weren't doing anything, right? Because the state wasn't being talked to, Clomer was out for review, so I kind of left it at a good spot for a transition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't think I was leaving and, just left the same day, so, I left all the projects I was working on in a reasonable position, so either they could continue them, or I would continue them, right? So, so that's why I said I don't understand putting $950 of an engineer's time from West Fargo, to do what, right? So like it was kind of a question mark. And then the other issue is, when the Clomer came back on the 24th, there's 8 comments, right? And their engineers in West Fargo said they're no longer, they left it to our certified flood manager, Maria, in Kansas. So we have to handle their 8 comments if we are going the route of the Clomer, not them, because they wash their hands of it, right? So I kind of think it would have been fair for them to just leave it at that. It's not a lot of money. And I don't know why they insisted. So I sent you an email talking about the comments in the Clomer and how we're going to need to pick up that and handle it. And it was about 4 hours, so it's kind of a wash right there, because you approved $2,000 and there's $950 there. So maybe you could try again and see. Can't hurt.
Okay.
Or you pay everything but that and give another rationale. But
Okay.
wish I could do better at convincing them, but it's up to you, obviously.
Okay. So that takes us to is it in claims this time?
No, we've
No,
already
all right.
paid
Paid
it,
it,
but
okay.
they called me and said we still owed them that $952 because they said it was a lump sum and it should have been included with, even though I wrote on there, then we weren't paying those hours. So that's why I asked Anthony about it.
Okay.
So,
If it's paid,
So are we gonna,
go ahead.
so are we gonna check into it and see, I mean, if we did, I mean, it's $951.
Yeah, it is.
I guess, I think we should be able to get an explanation from them as to what this total is for, is what I,
but we know what it's for.
We know it.
I know,
Because
but
we had a
have,
breakdown and all they told me is that we can't separate it out. That it's a lump sum and we just have to pay the whole bill, was their explanation to me.
So
So,
I can email you this
Okay.
response from FEMA on the Clomer, and you can say,
I
hey,
can,
we have to reply to this.
Right.
okay,
Could you cut us a break and just,
well, I think we should
Okay. Sounds good.
proceed a little bit on it.
and then if they still proceed, then you guys can decide next time.
okay. I
Because
can
they don't
do
know
that.
this. They don't
Right,
know
they
this.
don't know that you've
It's new
gotten that.
information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So do you think, in their opinion, that they believe they're going to submit that on our behalf instead of you?
No, actually, it says here, so it says, as the professional engineer is no longer associated with this conditional revision, please submit a copy of Form 1 that is signed by a registered professional engineer in the state of South Dakota. So they're asking me to sign their work, because they've taken their name off of it. So
Okay.
So they're not expecting us to do it. And then it says right here that the submittal of topographic work map entitled Clomer, prepared by KLJ engineers certified the 20th of March 2024, does not provide some of the essential information required to complete a review of this request. So they've left it. They've left some loose ends.
Right. So basically, if I understand this correctly, you paid them everything that they asked for minus
minus
this
one
because,
person's hours that Anthony told me
right, because,
wasn't included.
because Benish is gonna handle this part of it.
Exactly.
And then, but they already washed their hands of it officially anyway, so, yeah, it just sounds like they're coming after us for nothing.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and assume they thought the clone room was good to go, and there wasn't gonna be
Sure,
any comments. And,
Right.
just email them that and.
Well, from our perspective, they're coming after us for something that you're gonna take care of anyways,
Yeah.
you know, so, yeah.
So I'll get that email over to you.
Okay, perfect, and then I'll follow up with that.
Follow up. Okay, very good. So are we
That's all?
worked through with the engineer? Are you gonna go back to,
Did you need me to be here for the ditch cleanup discussion?
I don't think so.
any other questions that you have for Anthony?
Okay.
Anybody else?
I'd just like to make a comment. I would like to thank you also, Anthony.
Sure.
I know you've done a lot of footwork for us. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoy my job, so it makes it worthwhile. So,
Very good. Very good, thank you, Anthony.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good.
Gonna have a bill back?
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. Did you get a copy?
Nope. Sorry. That's it. Well, happy 4th of July, everyone.
Yeah, same to you, Anthony. Okay, that I'm telling you, brings us to planning and zoning.
All
Joe?
right, I have 7A, which is, we need to just make a motion to assign an address to parcel 009339. Travis Baker bought that piece of property, it's behind the corner pantry up there, and he's going to be building a shop on that property. I had a recommendation from Troy Schmidt over in Custer County. I just picked the highest number, 749 Tenaya Street, if that works for everyone, if you can make a motion on that.
Okay,
Can I make a motion, we accept
Donna
it?
makes a motion,
I'll second.
Cal seconds it. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried, thank you. B,
B, I have a digging grading permit from Travis Baker for that property. He's going to be putting in an approach to get into that property, putting down some gravel and doing some grading. And I would like a motion on that to approve that.
I make your motion, we approve it.
we have a motion,
I'll second it.
we have a second, thank you. Any comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you.
I have 7C, an informational permit from Travis Baker for that property. He just wants to put a temporary 10 by 20 office there for now. I did not make him get a building permit for that. It would be over the 160 square feet. It's not going to be a permanent building. It's just going to be there temporary until they can start getting the shop built. So I don't know that I need a motion on an informational permit, but maybe just discussion. Is an informational permit enough, or do we want to make him do a building permit to have just a temporary shed sitting there? And it'll be gone later.
Is it gonna be just like a
Like
storage shed? I mean, you know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
a,
temporary shed.
you know, he isn't putting water or sewer, nothing into it.
He might be hooking up to the electric, because he wanted it close to the electric pole, but it's just temporary.
I don't see any problem with it.
Chuck,
Well, it may be temporary, but I think that there should be a time limit put on it, because if it sits there for a year and a half and there was no building permit issued, well, it's gonna draw some fire. So I think there should probably be some kind of a time limit put on it till the other building is done, and then who says he's not gonna leave it there for storage or something. So I think there, you know, it is falling within the 160 square feet, so.
He does have on the informational permit, 4 to 8 months is what he's asking for. If we wanted to do the high end 8 months and then it needs to be gone. Or you need to get a building permit to have it there permanently, or if you're gonna move it somewhere else on the property.
I think we need more, myself. Gal?
More time or more what? More from them?
More permit. We need a
Okay.
permit of some sort for the building. I'm not comfortable with it just being there. That starts something that we don't need. And Chuck?
Well, then you run into the situation that if it's temporary, is it going to be anchored and, you know, the wind comes up and takes it for a little ride, you know, I mean, it's gonna have to be addressed just a little more than what he's asking for.
Agreed.
Okay.
Dan?
Normally, with it being over our ordinance, if we don't follow it, of course, we're setting a precedence on that square footage. And if we were gonna do something like that, we did a conditional use permit, as we've done for others. So that way you had your time limit, and then you had your detail and what they were gonna do on it, so. Might be a wise circumstance, definitely.
Jerry?
Yes, if you go back and look at the ordinance, when you're doing construction on a site, right in the ordinance, it says that you can't have support buildings for doing during the construction, and I think this is what this would fall under. If you go back and look at the ordinance, it's already covered, it says you can do that. He's just doing an informational permit to let you know that's what he's gonna do. But the ordinance does say you can have buildings there for storage, whatever you need to assist while you're doing your construction. It's in the ordinance.
However, the permits for the buildings are not in yet. And so without that permit, how can you allow that? In my opinion. Any feelings, Kent, on that?
Well, chronologically, it would be the best, most appropriate way to do it is to have the underlying permits for which this informational permit is being requested, so that would make sense. Now, if it's a matter of simply time and that it's a slam dunk on receiving those permits, then you roll the dice. Is that appropriate? Not necessarily, but knocks nicks on the ultimate effect. But again, you want to follow something that's going to have some structure in the future.
Could we have Jill just visit with him a little bit more on that and get a little more information on that as to, what is he gonna, you know,
You kinda wanna know how he's gonna anchor it. What else do we wanna?
how long, you know, you said 4 to 8 months, or 4 to 8 months,
Is exactly
you
what he
know,
wrote
but
on the permit.
we need a little more concrete, we need to be a little more concrete building than what, just a little shack.
Kent, could we have him pay for this size, and then when he comes in for the building permit, take off that amount from the actual building permit? Seeing as how it is included in the ordinance then?
Is there, so there's no identified separate fee for the one that he has, for this ancillary small structure? There's no fee structure for that, or?
There is, but not if the ordinance says that you can have those, which Jerry says it does. I haven't looked
Without
at it.
reading that ordinance, you can, being able to have them and then, and still doesn't apparently relieve you from requiring a permit to have it, as more of an informational aspect, Jerry, is that kind of what you're saying?
And that's what, with the ordinance is what it is, he said informational to say that he is gonna have that building there. In the ordinance, it says, yeah, you can have those auxiliary buildings. You know, and from my memory on it, it doesn't say you have to get those permitted, they're just there. You know, if you go with any construction site, anywhere, I mean, you've done a lot of
Yes.
construction.
Yep.
Mr. Hagan, you guys have facilities on site that's what they're for.
Yeah. So I guess if there's not a set fee for that type of permit application, then I don't think it would be appropriate to charge anything on the front end if it's simply informational. Now, with that said, are we charging, or are we incurring a cost, I should say, for an engineer to look at it, anything like that?
Dan, go ahead.
And I understand what Mr. Stiles is saying, but usually it's triggered by a permit too, where the permit is in. And then they are allowed to have the temporary, as what has been in several other instances. So if he's going to do this prior to any permits coming in, to keep it simple, since we don't have in the fee schedule something to charge another fee on is what you're moving towards for you. Like I say, if you did a conditional use permit and had him come in and fill everything out, you've simplified it, you don't have to worry about going back on any other permits, and you can move forward, so.
Jill?
So I have under chapter 150 building codes, building permits. Any person desiring to build or to add on to an existing building in the town limits will obtain a building permit application from the clerk. He's not building something there and he's not adding on, he's just putting a temporary thing. So should I have done a conditional use permit instead of an informational permit?
Probably. Jerry?
I just recommend that, go back and look at the ordinance where it says that can be in there, and then come back. Because within that ordinance, it says you can have those on there to help facilitate doing your construction. So,
Cal?
So I found that in ordinances, Jerry, it actually says that in there a few different times, but, I mean, doesn't that assume that he already has a permit for the construction?
Exactly.
And so, it seems to me that in order to, put the temporary office up under that ordinance, he would have to have some type of either a conditional or a construction permit in order to have that temporary fall under that permit.
does he have,
He already has the digging and grading permit that we just approved. Does that count for help?
It's not part of the building.
Not for the building, yeah. Jerry?
there's times when you have to have stuff stored on the site when you're doing your,
Yeah.
doing the construction and the digging permit stuff, you have equipment that you don't want to leave out, so.
Yes, but he's using this as an office. He did not say he was using it for storage. There is a little difference.
No,
So-
I agree with you then.
No. So I believe we have to have something, Jill. We're gonna have to make sure that it's tied down and safe and so on and so forth. So you can get that ready and bring that back to the next meeting.
I sure will. I'll
Thank you.
Call them out.
And that's what would be accomplished by the conditional use permit process, is that you can impose those requirements, you can charge a permit fee, and then you have something to, if he's out of compliance or the construction project never comes about, you can yank that permit because he's not in compliance anymore.
Okay.
So it's probably the safest way.
Thank you, Ken.
I have a penchant for stating the obvious.
Thanks. All right, next.
The rest of them under planning and zoning, D through G, have all just been approved by me in the office here.
Okay.
They're just in there for FYI.
Thank you.
And then that takes us to H, discussion on planning and zoning board.
Okay. Discussion on that is that there's been some discussion, Cal and I have talked about a little bit, about bringing back planning and zoning. And I think Jill is in favor of that.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. And so, go ahead, Donna.
Well, I guess my concern with that is with Jill doing it, they don't have to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month for to have another meeting.
That is true, but
Because in
Jill,
Rapid City, you can go in and you can get your building permit right then and there that day. And we're not a monopolist like Rapid City is.
on that, I will say yes, but Rapid City hires people that specifically know planning and zoning, and they know their area. We don't have that degreed person behind that desk to follow through with that. And that's my feeling on that particular comment. Did you have a hand up?
No, but I can make a comment if you
Go
like.
for it.
I mean, it's no mark against Jill. I mean, I'm sure she knows way more than I do about any of this stuff, but my interest in bringing planning and zoning back is so we can kind of have a more thought out discussion on some of the permits and stuff like that, because just to kind of cover our bases and make sure that,
Well, and I mean, and I know there's people that say, you know, sometimes it takes a month to 2 months to get a permit to be able to do something in the town of Hermosa.
Yep, and it's true. And I know that's annoying. We've dealt with that ever since I believe that I was on the board. It's been a topic of discussion. Dan?
And I guess I have to disagree with that comment about going into the city of Rapid City and getting your permit the same day, because I've applied for permits through the city of Rapid City and Pennington County, and there's instances it's taken me over 2 months to get my permit because of the process you go through, the committees you go through, the meetings you go through, plus you've got to hire an engineer to do a lot of your applications, or a structural person like St. Pierre to go through and do the application for you in circumstances of that nature. So it's all in planning, and if you don't plan your project ahead as you're going through that process, then I'm sorry, you don't walk in and just get a permit. You've got a long process to go through on all their applications, so.
Thank you, Dan. That's good to know that. And also Jill will still be doing the informational permits,
If I could do temporary signs, something that's just easy that does
Yes.
not need to go, and we would need to checklist those, which ones you would give me permission to do. But as for doing the groundwork on some of the bigger permits, having planning and zoning was very beneficial. I thought we all worked together well and got stuff done.
All right, thank you, Jill. This was just for discussion. We'll put this on the next agenda to approve or to vote on. Okay? Very good. Anything else with planning and zoning, Jill?
No.
Thank you, dear, for your time.
Thank you.
That brings us to claims.
I make a motion, we accept claims as they are presented.
Okay, motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll second for
For
discussion.
discussion, thank you. Go ahead. Your question is?
Yeah, so on here, so Chuck, you have, so there was the extra cost to go and hook up, what was that, 4D to the water main, is that right? We already get that
Actually,
done.
that went quite smoothly, and there was quite a savings there as what could have been.
Sure, yeah.
The actual boring would have been about $1,000 more based on their per foot. He kind of indicated that we've been such nice people to work with that he took $1,000 off his bid. So on my side of it, we exposed the main, did a wet tap, And the town paid for the material, so there was no markup in the material and no sales tax. So that was quite a savings there, and I ran my equipment and labor and stuff by the hour, which there is a spot in my contract for that, so that saved well over $1,000. So there was an easy $2,000 that was saved in the project, and very little to no mess.
Okay.
And it's done and he's happy with it?
Haven't heard anything otherwise.
Yeah. That's kind of my main question, is if we're all done with that now.
The curb stop is right next to the property line, and he will be taking it from that point to wherever he needs it.
Okay.
And it's important that the curb stop is on city property, so that's how that all turned out.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's all I had.
And of course, where the tap was made in the street, I've touched it, so obviously he'll be guaranteed for 100 years. So we did a extra compaction on it, being where it is. That doesn't mean there isn't gonna be some issues with it. The asphalt was, what there was of it, was broken up and in very poor shape, so.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime that street probably will get paved or something will happen, in the future, but at this point, it's broken up asphalt and gravel.
All right, very good.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay. That brings us to law enforcement. And we don't have any logs. We don't have a marshal.
I'd like to make a comment though.
Yes.
I've had a complaint down in our development down there about a gentleman, and then also it has been mentioned that this particular resident has their children living in their camper. Is this do I want to say legal to have your kids live in, I mean, should they not have to have a conditional use permit? I mean, I don't know.
Well, first of all, I don't have enough information on that. Are these children minor children?
Yes, yes.
And in my opinion, I'm guessing that it's summertime and they're play camping and enjoying having some space.
Well, I don't know, I just brought, just,
Okay. Go ahead.
I would think if they're minor children and there's a concern there that law enforcement might want to do a welfare check, and it's not any of our business yet, so we should move on.
thank you, I appreciate that. I think it needs to be addressed by the sheriff's department. I think we should.
Then that would be, not necessarily the town's job to do that. The complainant should probably do that, or,
I have seen the sheriff driving around again.
good,
Yeah.
good. Okay, Dan?
So is there a written complaint as per the ordinance, and has it been followed by the ordinance? Has it been followed up by 2 board members and confirmed, and before
At
anything
this
goes
time,
forward
it's
legally?
just information, I brought it forward.
None of that has been done. It's just been an information, a phone call, and Donna just wanted to bring it forward to the board. So I believe that this is, not our issue. If you as a neighbor or anybody as a neighbor has a feeling that this is a situation of neglect or whatever, then I think it does need to be taken to the sheriff's department, but that again does not I don't
Well, I just
see it, so.
put some
Yeah.
information throughout at me and
Yep.
I just kinda, wanted the feelings of it.
Okay. Anything else with, law enforcement? Okay, that brings us to abatements. The abatements that were on the floor, to my knowledge, there's not been any new complaints or abatements. It's still the old ones that are on the floor, and, Jill is going to be writing up a letter to send to those people, stating that, we are researching and possibly in change of the ordinance and of the, requirements, and, they will receive a letter stating that it is all going to be under review, and, Cal did on all the ones that are still unfinished, so to say. He ran through and made sure that it is not any health and safety issues on any of those, as far as the line of sight or anything like that. So we're just gonna go forward with that. At this point, any complaints need to be made in the office, signed, and verified then by 2 people. I'll be with you in just a second. And as far as the anonymous part of it goes, the office staff has assured me that they will keep them as anonymous. If anybody comes in to fill out and sign those complaints, they will take them, the complaint will be signed, but then they will blacken it out and put it in their files and the files that need to be done and given to 2 board members to make sure that it is verified. And after that, we will handle it from there, and it will depend on the complaint itself, whether it's grass, whether it's danger, if it's dangerous, if it's a problem, a dangerous problem, it will be dealt with immediately. Other than that, it will follow the letters and time frames of the complaints, and we will be working on this ordinance. It's down here later on in the agenda to have another work session. So, questions or comments? Donna.
Well, there's some yards that need to be addressed immediately.
Okay. Well, that is dangerous because of snakes and mosquitoes.
Yeah,
So-
there's some nasty yards around town.
Jill, are you willing to drive around with me tomorrow and we'll go through and look at that?
Sure.
We will look through the entire town. If it is a immediate horrible problem, we will get a letter sent out tomorrow, which of course then it's a holiday. But it is going to be a holiday and a long weekend for a lot of people, and that gives them a lot of time to take care of their issues without even a letter. A lot of people have that time. And so
Yeah,
unless
some
it's
reason.
seriously, we will not send any letters out or do anything until the following week, and then we will drive through again and make sure that those people have taken care of them before we send letters. Dan, did you have a question, comment?
Yeah, that was my question, is that the new abatement committee now then is you and Jill? And then that will be who will be addressing it, and then you'll confirm?
I believe that's how it will come out, but we are having, like I said, a work session meeting that will have more discussion on this, hopefully next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Jerry?
Again, you were talking about health and safety,
Mhm.
and prior to when Vicky had sent out her complaints and stuff, I was almost ran into over here on the corner of 3rd and Folsom. I was coming home the other day, it's just a good thing that I drive the speed limit or less in town. I was going 10 miles an hour, someone was coming from the west, heading west, and they just cut that corner short. I had to hit my brakes, they had to hit their brakes, so.
And so is that something that you could take a license plate down and do a complaint to the sheriff's department about? A speeding vehicle or
Well,
James
they weren't really
view.
speeding, just they can't see around that corner.
You checked that corner on, as to
Well,
what you felt was proper.
I didn't check it while I was driving, but I checked it, how, Jerry and I talked about this before, but, I checked it as I read the ordinance, and per the ordinance, it seemed to pass, but Jerry and I in our discussion have basically figured out that the ordinance, the way that it's worded, there's no objective way to determine that, because the ordinance points that, the points that the ordinance uses for measurement are mutually exclusive,
Okay.
is a way to put it.
So could this be helped by a stop sign on Folsom? So that that person coming from the east to the west had to stop there?
I think that would improve it.
Well, then why don't we just fix that situation with a stop sign? Chuck, do we have another stop sign?
Yes, we do.
Could I get you please?
Yes, you could.
Do I need an ordinance, do I need a vote on that, or can that just be done?
I mean, I could make the motion. if we
Make a
need to.
motion, please?
All right, I move that we put a stop sign on Third and Folsom to
Okay,
make that
I
no safe
second it.
intersection.
motion's been made and seconded. Jerry,
That'll
comment?
be on Folsom stop before you go to Third.
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll address it excellently.
Very good, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you. All right. Okay. That takes care of abatements for this point in time. That brings us to legal. That's you.
Yes, it is. All right. Well, one item that's on there is with regard to the new town attorney position. As I mentioned last time, I do have the Rapid Cities, their HR's department, their legal department's job description.
Okay.
And some of it is, most of it's very applicable to what we'd be looking for, the certain skill set, experience, things like that. What, and usually, I should add, that the pay, and this is different because that's for an employee rather than just a separate 1099 contract type attorney services. So, at the outset, we can put in there what we're willing to pay, or, as they do here, it's if you meet the base criteria of some sort of background in municipal law and related topics, which is vast, and at least 3 to 5 years experience in that type of practice. Okay, so and oftentimes they'll come to you with a proposal, frankly. But so it's a lot like a RFP in a one way, but you're certainly advertising for, just like you would an RFP, these criteria to be fulfilled. So the board should be thinking about what pay scale and what pay arrangement is it willing to explore. You can, the town has done a number of different ways. There's a set retainer that you could pay that no matter what, they get $500 a month and an hourly after they use that at X dollars per hour. Very common way to do it. So their proposal, they'll come at you with what they think they can do it for, and their hourly rate and those kind of things. So if you'd like me to put that in a format that works for the town, and as a 1099 rather than an employee, and there are other things you put in there that may or may not be relevant. The ADA really doesn't apply to us because, again, they're not employed. So they have a lot more freedom in the scope of how we ask it and what we ask for. But if you'd like to proceed with putting that together and get that out on, like I mentioned before, the South Dakota Bar Journal was a good one.
Go ahead, Trina.
Can we say The expectation is between 10 hours, I'm just throwing a number out there, 10 hours and 12 hours a week or whatever. And then say, we're accepting applications for it, please send in what your retainer fee would be. Is that how we would do it?
Certainly, yeah.
Because then we're not throwing the number out first.
Oh, yeah, I'm not suggesting that we do.
Okay.
I agree with that, because we can always negotiate that. If somebody that has had a lot of experience and are more proficient in that area of the law, you're gonna typically spend less, because it doesn't take them, you know, maybe a tenth of the time to look something up, because they already know it. You know, or they know exactly where to look for it, type thing. So there's economies to be had at different areas as to, you know, if you have somebody with a lot of experience, and you can pay them more because they are more efficient, essentially. But I agree with you, yeah, you want them to send an application in along with their curriculum vitae and what their expectations of pay is. It gives it something we can look at. And may or may not be that I know them or not, and I know that it's neither here nor there, but the bar journal goes out statewide. Obviously, you want somebody close regional, but there's some key things we want to make sure they have. You just don't have somebody walking in cold and not able to handle the job.
So I would entertain a motion to allow Kent to do that. And I would like to add on that before he publicizes it or puts it anywhere, that he sends it to the office and that we read it and Finance Committee can approve it and then send it forward.
Perfect.
Motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. The only comment I have is, I know that Vicky was checking into a couple of attorneys, and does anybody know if she has received anything or has any information on that? Donna?
I
You don't,
never think to ask her about it, so.
okay? And she has not contacted the office in that, okay. All right, very good.
Okay, thank
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried, thank you.
Okay.
Anything else on legal, Kent?
I don't have anything else. As I recall, there was talk of a work session possibly coming up on a couple of these issues, or pending issues. Has that been set, or is that going to be done tonight?
That is
Later in the
later in the agenda.
Okay, so
Yes.
nothing further, thank you.
Okay, Dan?
Just a quick question for Kent. I've had a couple of people question future property owners, if you've done any work on the new tip for the Preston development, and then establishing a tip coming into the boundaries of the community.
I haven't done any new work on it because I haven't been requested by anybody specifically to do that. I mean, Preston's are kind of hunkering down for a while. There's not a lot of activity coming from them or directives coming from them to say, okay, now we're going to march forward, what's timing on the tip and those kind of things. So I haven't, because I haven't been asked to by a client.
Okay, and I don't know if, that's a circumstance then that would have to be asked if there's a potential client that comes in and decides he would like to have that interest. Is that something the town would once again do as what it did with Custer County Housing and move forward with that in the motions of the town and move towards that portion of it for the development purposes?
Towns often direct the drafting of tax increment finance districts. That would be just fine in this case, if no one directed me to do it. It's one of the areas of practice that I've done a fair amount in, and could certainly pursue that.
Is that something that should be on a work session then to be discussed for the possibilities of that? Because if Preston start the development, the other concern that was brought up too is, the advantage of what it is gonna be for the town, because they are annexed into the town.
Right.
And so, you know, to produce as what they were gonna, a little better development out there, and they were talking paving, roads, going another step farther on that, it only helps with the town, even though we may be short on water, we still have the ability for sewer. So that's a level two that I think would be very advantageous for the town to look towards and maybe get a proposal on what your feelings are and what it will take to move forward with a project like that.
Okay. And through that work session, we would establish the scope of the project plan. What is it that the town wants to make sure is achieved and identified as a designation for the use of those increment funds? It's a very particular purpose, a very particular process that needs to be executed, and of course, it's like anything where you have taxes involved, and allocation of taxes. The taxes are collected by the county and distributed to the city per the directive of the town as this project plan is implemented. So there's a lot to talk about. Is what are the things that want to be accomplished through this 20-year funding mechanism?
First, I'd like to say, if you would put that on the work session agenda, far down, that's not gonna be on our list for this next work session. Okay, can't be, we have too much other, but, okay?
But I just had one question. In talking to the county and the state, both, they have told me that since that first TIF is paid off, that you can't do an overlapping one now. That would have had to been in place with that other one.
Once it's paid off, yeah, so the only reason to overlap is because there's one that exists before it.
Right.
And if that one that
And
exists
we
before it is
we
paid off.
we haven't made a resolution to get away, but it's been paid off, is my understanding. So we're collecting these funds, and they're not being dispersed anywhere, so.
Okay,
So we're just collecting all this money, and the state is telling me we have to pay that back to the county.
well, the note, that loan has been paid off.
Right.
That doesn't mean that's different than what the project plan provided for, and are all of those are the ones that are continue to be chosen as additional phases of that same TIF, under that same TIF. Those still exist, because if we're, as a town board, saying that, yeah, certainly, that funding mechanism has been paid off because and due to the fact that it was clearly identified as to what improvements it went for.
Right.
That's been handled, great,
Right.
just as planned, perfect. Well, we still have a project plan that contemplated a number of things.
Okay.
Now, we need to dust off that plan and say, oh yeah, we have a sewer project, we have some water things that can be applied to, whatever that project plan originally contemplated and addressed.
Okay.
There's been, it originally was drafted in '05, and then in '07 or '08, there was an amendment to it. So, where the city took it over, the town took it over, rather than at that time, Custer County Housing was the original developer for the matter. And do you know how much, just for curiosity's sake, is in that?
I think when I looked, there was 200 some thousand, 234 or something like that.
Okay. So I would think before it expires, it would strongly behoove the town to figure out what to do with that money and what can be done under the original project plan and amendments there too. Now, if there are other things that would like to be accomplished with that money, you can amend the project plan up to a week before it expires. Okay, there's nothing in the statute that says you have to have that amendment done within a certain amount of time after the project plan has been adopted. That's why they call it an amendment. So, and it used to be, if you amend it, before there's a change in the law, if you amend it, great, you can amend it, but if it is a new item that was not contemplated in the scope of the first project plan, that would actually act to reset your base. So back in '05, when the district was created, your property taxes for everything in that district were stopped. And that increase in property tax went to
Right,
payment
all
of the
those
plans.
Any new building plan,
Yeah,
because I worked in the equalization office for 16 years,
Oh,
so I know a
yeah.
little bit about TIFs, so yeah.
Exactly. So there's a lot of, again, it's one of my favorite statutory mechanisms for economic improvement. It's really a valuable opportunity. And I think that district obviously expires in 2025, because it was created in '05, if I recall.
Yep.
What time frame in '05?
Yeah, September-ish?
I'm
Maybe?
thinking yes. And I actually think it's this year.
Was the district created
I
in
think
'04?
it's
or '05?
2005. I have the file in my office.
As I
I
recall,
found
the
them
district itself was
downstairs.
created in '05, and
I
it'd
think-
be 20 years from the date
There
of
you
the,
go.
Yeah.
from the
Yeah, so it'd be
designation of
2025,
the district.
Okay.
So we don't have a lot of time then. I
Mhm.
mean, we have 14 months, basically 15 months
Right.
so this is gonna have to be discussed fairly soon.
So if there is anything that could be, in the original project plan, deemed to be certainly part of the original intent, easy, slam dunk. If not, we need to write an amendment that, where funds can be used on something that, that's not contemplated essentially in the deal.
All right. Jerry, you had a question?
Yes, you're talking with the county and also talking with the state, is there, it can't be amended now. And also, they said that excess funds that were collected above and beyond what it took to pay it off had to go back to the tax districts, like the fire department, the,
County
and
and
that's,
school.
and so I think before we go forward and spend some of that money,
Well, yes.
we need to go back
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
look at the actual rules, because
Yeah.
I talked to the head person at the state in charge of that stuff, Wendy, and then also
Robin.
Robin, and they pretty much says when excess funds are collected, and that's taxes that come in, and it's already paid off everything that needs to be paid off, then those dollars need to go back out to where they would be distributed to regularly.
Yes, and that is generally correct. There's two natural deaths to a TIF. One is 20 years, and second is paid off. So that aspect is correct if you're looking at it just as that particularity. But that presumes that the payoff was only that loan. That loan was just one funding mechanism. Okay, it doesn't mean that was all inclusive of everything you could ever do under that TIF. That TIF has actually, project plan contemplates other things that can be done or intended to be done at that time. Now, so, and with that plan, there was also a schedule of costs or that were intended for for the revenue funds were intended to be used for, and they're line items. And if that line item, if all those have been accomplished and they're all paid off, I would say that's probably correct, and it died. It's now stopped. But if you have, and usually this is more the case, is there are several items, and if I recall back then, they were fairly extensive. I'm confident that line item budget has not been fully paid for, satisfied, used, whatever you want to call it. That money that is in the coffers for the TIF fund that can yet be released for the implementation of the project plan, if that's still available, and that project plan has not been completely fulfilled in its original purpose and its original budget, no, it's not dead yet.
Okay. Dan?
And I think that too, when we discussed about that in the amendment, if we were going to establish the new tip, with that developer's agreement not being satisfied, that administratively and legal portions of them monies can be done to set that amendment for a new tip, to establish new boundaries, to move forward. And we had talked about that a couple of years ago, that might have to be a possibility. Yes, we haven't satisfied any of the agreements in that tip that needed to be, because of course the development didn't take off. But there are them establishments. But I know we had talked once, what was the lady's name that was here from the city of Rapid City that did so many of them, that was working with you?
Oh, yeah.
She had mentioned that, and just what a guru.
Karen Bowman.
There you go,
Yeah.
what a gal, and I mean, knew
Yeah.
that inside and out, so, and that's why with the work session, if a person can apply that amendment as what you referenced, it can give it more shelf life and move forward, and then the involvement with Preston's needs to happen immediately with that portion of it too, for their advantage point also.
In the amendment as to the boundaries is something that you want to stay away from. Maybe it doesn't matter a hell of a lot anymore, since it's only, 10, 12, 14 months left on it. So, but when you change the boundaries of a district, then that does reset. That's the whole purpose of overlaying a new one on top of an existing. So you can freeze that tax base now, even though this one still exists. But once this one's paid off, or completed, or dead, however, by whatever means, then this one's already sitting there, ready to take up the mantle of receipt of those new funds, those additional funds. But based on the tax basis at that time, that when this was created. So it's not like you continue to enjoy all the growth in that increment since 2005.
Mhm. Thank you.
Okay. Jerry, did you have another question?
I just think that the town needs to move forward. I'm not questioning your legal on it.
I would hope not.
Just don't question my engineering stuff. But
Deal.
It was very clear, because there's a list of items, like you said, in there that could have been covered. And some of those items hasn't been done. And so I asked about some of those items, and they says, well, no, you're not the original person that had it, so you can't do it, you can't make no amendments. And they said it's very clear that the money had to go back.
If
But
they look,
I might not have asked her the right questions, so.
that's it. I mean,
It's just, that's why we just need to make sure that, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're questioning anything,
No.
we just wanna move forward with it.
It's like any creature of statute, and the exact scenario, because one word can make a difference in dealing with that. So the exact scenario is gotta be well understood and well articulated, and, in Department of Revenue, I've gone around with them before, back in 2015, on some issues that they were clearly wrong on, and finally they capitulated. But, and I'm not saying that that's the case here at all. I'm not looking to be adversarial with the Department of Revenue, crap out loud. But, and another thing, when you said that the developer had changed, if they're looking at the 05 TIF documents, there's the establishment of the district, there's a project plan, and then the third piece of that document is called the developer agreement. And the developer agreement originally was Custer County Housing. And they had great plans, never got off the ground, they couldn't get their funding, it was a cluster. So in about 07 or 08, the town did an amendment whereby the town stepped into the shoes of the developer. And that would still be the case to my knowledge. I don't think that's ever changed. I've been gone for a while, but.
Okay. That's a lot of information, and we will make sure and put that on a work session, and we'll find out all the legal aspects of that, and
Let me
Do
go
what
on
we-
further, however.
please, Kent. All right. So that's it for legal then?
Yes, ma'am.
And that brings us to Public Works. Chuckles. Anything? Nope, everything's good, right?
I think everything is, streets, we're working on those steady bigger, patch and hole, and we've done quite a little work, on West Main.
I seen that.
A couple of days ago, there's some gigantic things over there.
Yep.
I still have not acquired any, oil from Hills, Monty thought he could get some from, that was left over from bituminous, but so far I have not gotten a hold of any of that,
Okay,
of
Alright.
any quantity. We wound up with a couple of jugs, you know, of small amounts,
mhm,
but nothing really that's amounted to much.
okay,
So, like I said, we're still working on those. I did, monthly round on the street lights, and I didn't find any of our major lights having any problems.
Okay.
I've seen.
good,
We still have a couple of instances where they're in the alleys or on, you know, somebody else's property. But, water side, everything seems to be moving along fine. Our back T is due for July. We're not into any of the real heavy testing that we were. We've gotten away from most of that stuff.
how's our daily usage? Gone up a little yet, or?
Well, not yet. It has been quite hot enough to, I see, including my own, a lot of the lawns are burning a little. The few hot days we had. Jill would want to know a little more about what our usages or how they've gone up or whatever.
We had 29% loss last month.
Yes, we had a couple small leaks that did not amount to that. And as we know, that they fluctuate, you know, from 1% to 20% to whatever, and nothing has been fixed, so still issues with, you know, some of the meters and stuff, and they're slowly putting those fires out. We're gonna have to probably order another case of meters, which is, there's 6 to a box, you know, so that's kind of normal. We've got a couple of structures that are gonna be needing meters, so, and we do have, that's gonna get covered in that work session on rules and meters.
Yes.
All that's all gonna come into place because it's quite a conglomerate of whatever. But we'll try to solve that problem.
And you got my numbers on how many old meters there were still in
I
town?
have not done that yet.
I have not gave that to him yet.
Oh, okay.
I will tomorrow. If you
What was
show
that
up-
total?
If you show up in the office.
60 or 50 or was that? It was over 50, that I do know, so.
Sewer, we pretty much have went over all of that.
Yep.
And what's being done and how that's all coming together. So far, we're holding our own on capacity. It's something that's gonna have to be addressed. I mean,
Sure, but not now.
it's gotta happen.
Okay, well, Okay?
I think that's on that area, unless there's some questions, the boulder tank situation is still the same. And
Mhm.
outstanding work orders were still, been spread a little thin with everything, the small lagoon situation, street repairs and those kind of things. And oh, I think that's got everything pretty well covered.
Okay. Jerry, you had a question?
Yes, when I was on the board, Jill had bring in question a few things about the CMOM as to whether the things that are in the CMOM, if they're being complied with. She had said that some things needed to be addressed. I just want to just put it out there that they're not being complied with. We want to, because we've got an excellent relationship now with the state and we want to keep it that way. So if there's some requirements in the CMOM that aren't being accomplished, and it was kind of told to me when I was there that some of the stuff wasn't being taken care of. Whether it is or not, I don't know. It might have already been taken care of, I don't know. But
Thank you,
it's
I
something
will
we need
check
to
into
address.
that. Thank you so much. Did you have a question,
I did.
Margie? Okay.
I was just wondering if we could, where Chuck had to dig down to get to that main on 4th Street, could we get some more gravel put on top of that?
Which way you just,
Where our alley comes into 4th Street,
Oh,
right in
yeah.
front of school. It's pretty muddy.
okay.
And I just washed my car and now it's muddy.
Okay,
So you want that
I
done
wish
tonight,
mine it
then?
rains.
all right. Any questions or comments for the Chuck's departments here? We're all done? Okay, very good, thank you. Thanks, Chuck. I see you working out there. Thank you, work hard. We appreciate it. All right, that brings us to finance office.
So you do have the May bank, or the May bank statements. Got that done. Still having trouble with the account. Still getting some fraudulent charges on there. So I did have to last week when I talked to him, because I happened to catch a $5,000 charge that was still pending, so I was able to stop that. And after that, I just said, so we put it on a restricted status, so nothing can go through. I mean, the deposits will come in, but any checks or EFTs or ACHs that I look at them. So every morning, and I had been looking at the account every morning.
Anyway.
I mean, it kind of was forced to, so, you know, and they just said, well, and they've been really good about, you know, we've gotten most of our money back, that, and so now it's, nothing's going through that is not ours, so. But when I said, you know, we'll probably move the account, they just said, oh, okay. So they
That was
didn't
it.
offer anything, so I thought, okay, well, that's probably a good sign that we need to move our money, so. A little disappointing, but, anyway, and we'll get to that later down. As far as department updates, I did start kind of working on the budget a little bit, so we will probably need to set, maybe at the next meeting, set some dates for August when you want to do those budget meetings for 2025.
Very good.
And
Hang on
go
just a second. There's usually 3 meetings with budgets beyond our regular meetings.
Okay,
I wasn't sure if you knew that, so,
all right, thanks.
okay.
yeah, yep, so. And then I guess the next thing with that is I did get 3 proposals from 3 different banks, and only one followed up with me. And as you'll see this from Bank West, I'm pretty excited about I mean, they really wanted our business, and they're going to offer us interest on our checking account, which we are getting a little right now, but not very much. They're going to do 1%. And then we can do I can do the direct deposit for payroll for $25 a month, which is basically what we're paying Pioneer right now for a 2-signature account. And then they're also going to offer us the paying our bills as many as we can, like EFT, so we're not writing as many checks. And they're going to give that to us for free for the first 6 months, so we can try it, see if we like it. And then if we do decide to go with it, it's $15 a month for that, which if we're not writing them any checks, then it might be an offset, so. And then we're also gonna earn 1% interest on our checking account, which is more than double what we're earning right now, so. So I think it'll all work out, and I guess I would just like a motion that we make a motion. I mean, we're gonna have to, we can't move all the money over there right away. Cause we'll have to wait till we get checks or something.
Yeah, go
You're
ahead.
currently with Pioneer?
Yes.
And, I can say we've banked with Bank West for 15, 20 years, and from a business standpoint and stuff, they've always been, pretty darn accommodating, especially the local branch.
Yeah.
Main branch has been excellent. I know everybody there too, if there's any assistance for any reason, let me know.
Yeah,
but-
well, and one of the gals I'm working with is actually one I used to work with at First Interstate when I was at the county, and now she's with Bank West. So that makes me feel good. But she and another lady came up here, did a presentation. I mean, I've talked to both of them on the phone. They said whatever we can do to get your business.
Terrific.
I mean, they were,
Yeah.
well, like I said, the other two, I got the proposals and I never heard nothing from them, so.
Good.
I know.
Okay.
So.
So your recommendation is that we switch?
To Bank
Bank
West,
West.
and I'm assuming you'd have to do it like you wouldn't move all your money over there right away because we got to get checks and you know.
Right, I mean, to transition it as fast as is permissible.
Right.
It's gonna, like I say, it's gonna take a while to get checks, the physical checks, those kind of things, but should have most of that within 2 to 3 weeks, I would
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
But something to open and create those accounts.
So I don't know, maybe we just need a motion just to open an account at Bank West right now, and then I don't know if we're gonna move X amount of dollars over there, and then at the time when we get everything followed through with getting everything moved over there, then we can make a motion to close that Pioneer Bank account.
So does the motion need to include that Cal and I and you are signatories and?
You can, I have bank signature card on there after that, so if you wanna make it all one motion, I guess you could.
So as a side note, that couple $100,000 that's in the TIF fund, is that in the city with the county or us? Us, isn't it?
It's splitting with us, cause every time
Okay,
those taxes
'cause it
get
should be,
paid.
yes.
Yeah, cause when those taxes get paid, then they monthly distribute to us.
Because that, and then I presume, or does Bank West know that transferring our accounts means a $200,000 deposit in their coffers?
Yeah, I guess I haven't, no.
That might excite them quite a bit.
Okay, okay. I will.
And because it would excite them, is there anything else that you want to get out of that? I mean, there's other mechanisms to put that 200,000 in there other than just a savings account at 1%. I mean, they have, many of them have 6 or 7 months
Well,
at a time at 5.5% or whatever.
And I was gonna say, their CDs, they told me, are like 5% right now,
Yeah.
which is about twice what the one we
The
have.
one we
with the-
have.
When we took that money from the county, we're getting 2.5% on that, and they said, we would've had it with them.
Sure.
Okay.
We would've gotten twice, so
Absolutely.
we could certainly do that.
And when is that, we signed another 6 months, didn't we? Or-
September is when it's
Oh,
gonna
well,
renew, so,
That's not bad.
yeah.
Just let it go till September and move it over.
Oh, it's.
Well, no, that's the ARPA money we got from the county, that 500,000.
Mhm.
That was put in a CD and it's only earning 2.5%.
And when is it?
That'll be September when that.
That matures?
Move it?
Okay,
Yeah.
That was-
the TIF money is not restricted.
Right.
No, well,
Okay.
it's in our budget in a fund, in a TIF
Mhm.
fund, so.
Yeah,
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 but it's
absolutely. I mean, I think
sitting
it'd
in
be
the
an
cash.
awesome opportunity to maximize that return.
Absolutely. Yeah, because they said if was there any money that I wanted to maybe do something like that and earn some more interest on, so that would be a good opportunity.
Yeah, I would encourage if there's something they're not quite pleasing you on,
Yeah.
throw that around a little bit, because that's very meaningful to them.
Okay.
So I would need a motion if the board agrees with that switch over to Bank West.
I make a motion, we switch over to Bank West immediately.
Well, can we do it immediately? I mean,
We can open an account with them, we just won't
Yeah.
move all of our money over there
Yeah,
yet,
just
because we'll have to
we
leave
need
some.
to open the
because we
account
still got-
immediately.
It's gonna take me a time to get, like, we have some EFTs already set up, and we've got, you know, deposits, and that account number is gonna have to be changed in a lot of different places, so.
All right, would you like to amend your motion that we just open the account there immediately?
That's what I just said,
That's what-
wasn't it?
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
she said switch over.
Oh, I see.
I make a motion that we open an account immediately
Open
at
a
Bank
checking
West.
account.
Yes, ma'am, I second that motion. That motion.
And then switch, and then transfer our
Transfer.
banking business to Bank West.
Right, yep. So while she's writing this all down, I want y'all to know, if you've seen me up here snickering or talking to either of the gals on my side, Bank West has come with pens and some notebooks for us, trying to get our business. And the new pen has
And
The
it makes
fidget-
noise.
fidget
It's a
on it.
fidget.
And it makes noise.
And it makes noise, and of course, so I'm sitting here fidgeting with it, and then I hear Donna's going off, and I'm saying, this isn't a good thing for me, you better just take it away. So it wasn't about anything else, I just want you to know, it's just this cute little fidget thing, and I'm enjoying
So
it.
Terry's getting a stereo.
Yes, she is. All right.
Hold out for some koozies, they got pretty nice koozies.
Do they got koozies? I need some more koozies.
I'll ask about that.
All right. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried, thank you. Next.
So now we have the bank because we'll need to, right now, it's me and Vicky on the Pioneer Bank account. And so you'll need to designate, and I don't know if you want to leave that for now on bank, on Pioneer, and then just do something with Bank West, or how you want.
Well, Bank West should be you and I and Cal. That's
Okay.
the norm, the finance committee
Yep.
and the finance officer. So that will be how that is. As
Okay.
far as the other account goes, they charge us $25 to change signatures.
Yeah.
So I think that we can just leave Vicky on it until
Well,
we.
I think we get
close
charged.
it out.
Is it every time we change?
I thought
Is
it was every time we changed, but
Okay,
you
so that's
can
why we
check
kept
into
doing
that.
that 25. I
Uh,
thought it was like a monthly thing, because it seems like we were paying it every.
No, I think
month.
it's
Okay.
each time it
Just
changes, so
Okay.
change that, find that out for
Okay,
sure.
okay.
And if there is a charge for it,
Just leave it.
we'll leave it as it
Okay.
is, and if there isn't a charge, we can change it
You
over.
may be right, because I don't think there was one on this last statement, so that probably was.
Okay?
Who are you dealing with?
And do we need a
Pardon me?
motion on that? Excuse me?
Oh, I'm sorry, have you guys did you complete the vote on the switchover?
Yeah.
On the switch over, we did.
Okay.
This is just
So-
the signature card.
Vicky Hauk, someone that I knew,
Vicky House?
Vicky Hauk,
Oh,
and she's actually up in Spearfish.
oh,
But and then there's Jennifer, I think, or down here, and then I also talked to a guy too.
okay,
But yeah,
okay.
And once make a motion that we change the signature card on Pioneer Bank if need be. If there's no charge, then we'll change it. If there's a charge, we'll leave it until it's closed, or unless something, comes up. How's that?
Yep.
Motion? Got a motion? Do I have a second, Donna?
Yeah.
Thank you, Donna. Yes, Dan.
I think the big thing you gotta look at though is the liability. If Vicky is on there, you have to sign a check. You're the pres, you're the vice pres now. You don't have a trustee signing off, so I think till you close it out, because there's gonna be other documents you're gonna have to sign,
right.
closing out too, so you're gonna wanna be
Hadn't thought of
with
that.
you three on that account and you three on the Bank West account.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I hadn't thought of it like that. You agree, Kent?
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
Thank you.
Certainly.
So,
Okay.
are we gonna amend that?
Yep, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're doing both the Bank West and the Pioneer,
Correct.
those three. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
And then we need to vote on that. Right?
Oh, and all those in favor?
I,
Motion carried, thank you.
I think about that on that signature thing, if they give you anything, well, it's gonna be a $25 fee or anything, to say, well, you know, the signatory is to be the town board president. That person has changed, but it's still the president of the town board, it's just the person has changed. So to get kind of technically with you, to say therefore we want it waived.
Okay, okay.
Good, thanks.
Okay. So then the next thing I have is, so our South Dakota Fit account, when I called to figure out that they still have Bob King and Monica on there, so we need to update those.
Yes, you need a motion to be able to do that?
I do,
Okay,
then I have a form to fill out for that.
Oh, so exactly what is that?
It's an investment. And I don't know a lot about it, I just know, I keep getting these emails about it, and so we've got some money invested with them. South Dakota Fit, you know,
Where?
South Dakota Fit, it's
Oh.
called. And I'm not even sure, I can't even remember how much it was, but,
Like 125,000.
was it? I thought it was more than that. And that might have been maybe what started, we've earned some,
What's the yield on that, you know?
I don't know, I'm trying to find if I have
He's
it
got
in
money
here.
in all place.
Yeah. Oh, I have these in here to sign. It says, yeah, it doesn't. They're supposed to be sending me information, I haven't gotten anything yet. PMA, GPS, and South Dakota Fit.
well, let's get all the information we can on that, so we can answer the questions, and let's change the
Just the account holders.
account holders.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
You need Monica to come down for after I'll volunteer her to come down.
They actually gave me the form, and so we'll remove her and put me in place of her, and then I just need to figure out if we're gonna put somebody in place of Bob.
I suppose me, president. Do we need a motion to that?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. Need a motion?
I'll make the motion that we get the South Dakota Fit people all straightened out on there.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay, do we have anything else? And then I guess the next thing, you just wanted to schedule that work session?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a work session a week from tonight, Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, same normal time. Does that work?
2-hour work session.
Approximately 2 hour. We don't want it to be
Yeah.
much longer than that. I mean, we want to finish discussing what we're talking about if we can, but yeah, I would say 2 hours is a good amount of time. Okay? All
Would
right.
you like to be president that one? Would you like me at that work session?
I'll call you on that. Let's see what we're totally gonna have time to discuss, and I'll call you on that. Okay. So then, the KLJ,
We already took care
that's
of that.
already taken care of. And so the next then would be the schedule
Oh, the Friday.
for this July. Or this Friday. So this is a state holiday. And Friday is for all state employees. The county, as I recall, when I was at the meeting, gave their employees the choice to
It's all yours, man.
take it off if they so desired, but not with pay. They have to use either their personal day, a vacation day, or take it without pay. And my suggestion for our employees is that we do the same thing.
I agree.
You agree?
Can you say that again, please?
So that we allow our employees, we allow the office to be closed if our employees want the day off. However, they will not get paid for it unless they're taking a personal day or a vacation day for it. They will get paid for their holiday pay for the 4th, but not for the 5th. And they can even take it without pay if, you know, if they desire. Jerry, you have a question, comment?
I just wanted to ask the question. The board has authority to pay them for that Friday, correct? If you guys make a motion.
Yes, we do
to pay
have
them.
that authority.
And I just think all the work that they do, anytime you have that little opportunity to do something special for them, I really think the board needs to look at that and do it. That's my input.
Thank you for your comment on that. I personally feel like giving them the opportunity to have the day off is enough. I think our finances are in a manner that I just don't feel like we should pay them for it at this time. That's my opinion, but it's the board takes full vote on this, so whoever wants to make a motion and however they feel and believe, go for it.
I make a motion that we give them July 5th off with pay.
Is there a second to that motion?
I guess I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? None?
Yeah, I think they do a great job, and I think that if we
They need to
can
clear
give
the
them,
brains for
yeah,
a
if we can
weekend.
give them a day off with pay, I think that, you know, kind of give them a 4-day weekend.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nay. And does that carry? This is where the, being minus 2 board members, is this
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Majority?
major, yeah, a quorum, a majority of that quorum has taken that action.
very good?
Well, thank you. We
Yes.
appreciate
Thank
that.
What are you thinking of her for? She voted against it.
I brought it,
Well,
I
it's
brought it
still-
to
it's
the
still
attention
carried.
of the board.
There you did.
Jerry,
I just want to say thank you, board, for doing that.
thank you. All right, that brings us to old business, which is the appointment of subcommittees, of which we are going to defer to the next meeting. Thank you. New business. A. Jason Kelly dumping unauthorized materials in the town yard waste dumpster. And is that why you are here? Thank you for coming forward. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry you had to wait 2 hours for it to happen.
So we dumped our yard waste, and I don't know where on the sign it says that it has to come from my yard. I live here, I pay my town bill. And also, you publicly humiliated my husband by putting his picture on Facebook when you could clearly drive through Hermosa and see his truck. He heard it from his boss, so he had to verify his address to his boss because you guys say we don't live here in Hermosa. And there's also tires down there. Where's their picture on Facebook?
There's also what?
Tires left by the dumpster.
Oh, well, somebody, I don't know
I
who
looked
dumped.
and I couldn't catch those guys. That's-
Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna put one picture up, you need to put everybody's.
Go ahead, Donna.
Well, the sign down there very distinctly says, no out-of-town residents can dump in this dumpster.
And
Can
I'm
you,
not out of town. I live here.
but the garbage has to be from within the city.
Where does it say on there that it has to be from the city? It just says in-town residents can use that dumpster. Nowhere does it say the yard waste has to be from the town.
It doesn't say it on the sign.
And if that's what you want, then you need to go change that and make it clear.
Just a minute. Jerry, go ahead.
I kind of looked at some of the stuff that was there. The way I understand it, it was firewood that was being cut and the stuff that was left after that.
Yep.
Okay, then let's go back and look at, every Christmas tree doesn't come from in town. It's not a real yard waste, but Christmas trees can go down there.
Yep.
So, again, I just I just think that we gotta look at the whole picture.
I'll tell you what, that sign has
Cause more problems.
caused a few situations. Jill?
I vote we get rid of the dumpsters.
Oh, that would be terrible.
I'm kinda for that too.
Darn it.
But I'm not on board, so don't.
Right now, the only matter at hand is the situation here. And
And my husband come in and turned himself in. So the reward you guys were offering for any information about him, he come in and told you guys himself.
I did hear that, and I appreciate that a lot. Well, that's a very valid point if it does not say anything about the yard waste having to be from the town of Hermosa. Here again, we have issues where we spent a lot of time on that particular writing and setup on that board and still forgot something that is actually quite important. And how many times has that been? I mean, it just... However, Dan, go ahead.
It's just a sad circumstance because it is meant for the in-town residents.
It is.
And so we're taking away from our residents, taking a chance, as what we just mentioned, of the dumpsters going away because of waste being brought in from out of town. You know, it's one thing for us residents to use it in town and use the facility for that. So if we need to put a line on there that in-town residents only with in-town debris only, then I guess that's what needs to be to clarify it one more step farther. Because it's gonna be challenged by people that are gonna take advantage of it and
Exactly.
take it to another level every chance.
But what about people who bring in firewood to chop up for their stove? I mean,
It's
I mean, I
not,
live
if
in
it's in
town,
town, I can see that. But if it's not an in-town resident, no.
well,
That's
yeah,
what they did.
but I'm in town, that's what I'm saying, is I brought it in to chop up for firewood, and I live in town.
Are you using the firewood, ma'am, or somebody else? That
No,
would
I
be
am.
the difference.
I am.
And you're cleaning your own yard up then
Yeah.
for bringing that waste in. No different than many others that burn firewood.
But those, you live down in Craig's trailer park, right?
Yes. Correct?
Where did the debris come from?
That's, where does it matter? Nowhere on your sign does it say I have to prove where it come from.
That is correct, Donna. If it doesn't
Well, I
say it, we
agree,
can do
but,
nothing.
you know, how is she cutting her firewood up?
With a chainsaw in my backyard.
No, okay. Okay, so on this, I believe that with this particular circumstance, we have to just let it go. With it not having that on the sign, there'll be no fine. And we will, again, this will have to be put on a work session and reviewed again. Okay?
And I guess I'm sorry.
Go for it, please.
I think you're right. And the key, two biggest points are in-town resident, period. The other one is the nature, you obviously want to have the natural waste. You can't have plastic stuff in there, so you didn't violate that. And the debris, frankly, if you're cutting out firewood at your own place, regardless of where you got the trees to cut up, that debris now sits in your
In my yard.
yard, which is in town. So that's another,
Right, and I
reason to-
pay that town bill that's for that service, for that dumpster.
yeah. And I think those factors were not understood, or did not, no way they could be known that you had to go with basically what the camera showed at the time. And that's obviously why it was handled on Facebook the way it was and so forth, because it looked like there was a complete scofflaw that was just taking advantage of the town's
Right,
generosity in providing it.
right, and I used the dumpster one time, and I
Yeah.
guarantee I'll probably never use it.
And that, you're right, and it was so, but that wasn't the case, and so I would suggest, just as a, number one, take that down if it hasn't been taken down, or that post.
Oh, I didn't do that, don't look at me.
Okay, I don't know who
No,
I didn't put it on.
That was,
I didn't do Facebook. I'm not even on Facebook.
I don't know who put it on.
Person who runs the town community.
Yes,
site.
yeah.
Well, whoever,
That's
And
not
I
us.
did not tell her to put it on Facebook.
okay, whoever did or whatever, but
Okay,
I think
just
it,
like- I
I
just
think,
want you to know that.
I think an apology from the
Right.
town would be in order, just because it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, because he heard it from his work. He had to verify his address and all that crap to his work. I mean, that's not cool.
Yeah, that's not cool. I'll agree. All right, so,
Jerry's got his hand up.
Jerry,
Yes, I agree, that's one thing with Ken, is what he is saying for apology. But I think something needs to go out on that same unofficial site that says, this person did nothing wrong, it was yard waste, they lived in town, there was yard waste from their yard.
Mhm.
No,
Just
it's
like
not
a
from
Christmas
their
tree,
yard.
that's all.
Exactly. You want to designate they clearly designate, articulate why you're giving an apology.
Yes, and
Because
I
that
think
does-
it needs to be where she was put out, or the family was put out there, boom, you did this wrong, we need to come back and say, as a town,
Yes.
we need to say,
And
they
the
did
fact-
nothing wrong,
Right.
and it needs to be out there.
Completely agree, and I think to say that it was a mistake, and we apologize. We're not saying go sue us because we did a bad thing.
No. No, I agree. I just.
okay? Cal?
So, can I make the motion?
You may.
That we waive the penalty and that, also we have the town draft a letter of apology to them and say that we basically didn't fully understand the circumstances. And, then maybe you're,
I would like to thank you for bringing to the attention of the board that that does not state that on there.
yeah, but if the
So-
letter of apology will help smooth things over with her husband and the work, you know, I mean, hopefully that'll, happen, so
Okay.
that's the motion.
Motion's made, do I have a second to that motion?
I second it.
This motion's been seconded. Margie, question, comment?
I just have a question. Are we talking about waste from, like your wood pile and stuff like that, bark and
Yeah, like tree limbs.
and tree limbs? Yeah, and I'm under the understanding that yard waste means like grass clippings, weeds, stuff like that, and they said not to put that kind of stuff in that dumpster because it messes up their recycling up there, so we never put ours in the dumpster, our woodpile waste.
I would have to say that, well, we use ours for compost. You know, we just pile it and it makes wonderful dirt and wonderful, organisms for our gardens. So we don't throw it in there for that purpose. However, this is a whole, sounds like kind of more like a whole tree, so it's all the branches off of the tree. And we do allow that in the dumpsters along with, you know, there's a whole lot of trees in town, when we're bringing up trees, that are dead and hanging and need to be taken care of, but, and that'll go in the dumpster too someday, but, Donna?
Well, I guess, I don't know how to say this.
Carefully.
Did you say careful?
Carefully. That's what I said, carefully.
Well, I guess, if that kind of opens the ballpark for anybody that wants to bring a big tree in and cut the wood off for their fireplaces, then they can get rid of the excess in the dumpster.
Isn't that what the dumpsters are for though?
Well, I know, but
I mean, we pay for that.
We do pay for that, but, I guess maybe part of this is,
I mean, I feel bad, but I
Yes,
mean,
I
it's
know.
still, you understand where I'm
I
coming?
do know, I know exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, when we cut firewood, we leave all the big stuff out there, out in the woods or wherever we've cut the tree, We bring the log, whether it's 8 foot long and, 20 feet around, whatever. We bring it home and then we do the chainsaw and the
Well,
chopping,
that's just it.
not the branches.
yeah.
However, I guess there would be incidences that could happen, and because of what the sign says, it's a moot point at this point. I think that is something we should discuss when we're
Well,
also
that's- yeah,
discussing the
it's-
work session. So is there anything further about this particular motion? Go ahead, Trina.
Sorry. I just would like to ask that the video pictures that are property of the town of Hermosa not be used on the unofficial
So
Hermosa
how did they get
on
it?
Facebook period.
Yeah, how did they get 'em?
Have no idea, I
You
don't,
know what I mean?
doesn't matter.
That, it added validity to the situation and it made it look more like this unofficial page that nobody knows who owns came from Jill.
Yep, yep.
If you look it up, it says who's
You know.
control of the page.
So I just feel like maybe
Who
we
has it?
gotta be careful.
Good idea. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
There was another hand? Chuck?
I think big end of the whole thing is common sense. It's
Yeah.
got blown completely out of proportion over common sense.
Well, Chuck, part of the problem is now,
Just because the stop sign doesn't say stop.
it doesn't matter at this point, so,
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave
yeah.
this.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, dear. All those in favor?
Aye.
What do we,
The motion was to eliminate the fine.
Thank you,
Thank you, hon. I'm sorry you guys had to wait so long.
thank you.
And to bring it to a work session and get it changed.
Draft a letter
Draft a letter,
stating they didn't.
an apology. And put it on that page and
yeah,
also send it to them.
send it to the Kellys?
Mm-hmm,
Okay,
yes.
all right, I second it.
Okay, motion's made and seconded already. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Next is, a refund to the cafe for $25 for a vendor fee. Because all fees were waived, for the vendor's permit, and this person actually came into the office and paid what they thought they needed to be paid, and then didn't use it anyway. Jill, go ahead.
And also, they did go down there on Friday night to set up, and Hermosa Connects would not let them have their trailer there, so I believe we need to give their $25 back, that's all I care about.
Okay,
So a motion for that.
a motion for that.
Yep.
I make a motion, we refund them $25.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second for discussion.
Discussion. Okay,
Yeah, I just wanted to ask why, so did they just come in to pay the permit fee and then you guys just ran it, or?
At that time, I did not know, the vendor fees were up in air, and I did not know we were not doing the $25 vendor fees, so they did
Okay. Yeah,
pay it, and then it was later after that I found out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah,
And
Deb?
my understanding is they were going to do it, but they shut them down because they weren't,
Right.
they sold something that other person had, which is really sad.
That-
Because Hermosa Connects is gonna do that, and have this, you know.
They had made arrangements from their meetings that they would allow one trailer they wouldn't overlap the product that the vending trailers were selling.
And so, did that actually happen?
I have no idea, that's all, I'm just
You're
saying.
just saying what you know.
Yeah,
Well, this guy wasn't allowed to.
so, and I mean, I don't know what
wasn't
this.
allowed.
He was not allowed to set up.
Very happy.
And here, this is another thing that matters, it's not ours.
That's
It's
right.
Hermosa Connects.
Right,
And so,
Oh,
that is just something that maybe we need to ask more next year when it comes about. How are you dealing with, these situations? But as of right now, it's not our deal, the $25 is our deal. And I have a motion and a second, all those in favor?
aye.
yeah.
Aye.
I think next year too, we can work better with Hermosa Connects. They can give us a list and we can have that up at the office, and those will be the people that, if we do have a
A
vendor's permit fee next year.
Very good, Jill, thank you. Okay, That brings us to South Dakota One Call. We need a motion to rescind the motion that was made on April 16th of '24 regarding charges passed on to Mount Rushmore Telephone for all locate fees conducted by Ferguson Construction over the 20 per month allowed in his contract. So this, we cannot charge back the fees as we had discussed. And so that is why we have to have the motion. So,
So you're saying that, explain that again.
we had made a motion to charge this fee to the telephone company for,
After Chuck turned his bill, we were gonna turn around and charge Mount Rushmore phone.
correct,
Which we cannot do.
we cannot do.
Okay, I make that motion.
Okay, motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded.
I was just wondering, how much was that total?
How much was
It was
it?
2,200 last month and then,
2,200
And
last
the month-
month. Well, not, only 1,700.
but they weren't all theirs, yeah.
1,700, I think, for Mount Rushmore for last month. And then I had
There was
already
a-
billed them before that, $450.
Okay.
So I will let them know that the motion's been made, they don't have to do that.
So that's $21.50. Yes, Dan.
So are we then with Mr. Ferguson going to get reimbursed on that, or are we?
He's already has been.
The way the contract is, we're just gonna pay him for everything over now, and even though they're saying the 811 charges cannot be charged out, is that something we need to renegotiate or relook at in his contract then?
Jerry.
I was actively involved when we wrote that contract, and I was the president, we signed it, it went before the whole board, the board approved it, and what it did is a certain amount of money, the expectation was that I think Chuck does, was it 10 a month?
10, yep.
And then anything over 10, then he gets charged this amount. Originally, we were looking at, he was looking at getting charged for
45.
$45, and but he said he needed this equipment. The
Right.
town didn't really want to pay for the equipment, so it was agreed that Chuck pays for that equipment. That equipment cost about what that overage was. And so the contract is very clear on what it is. And there's been other questions about the contract, you know, about, well, we have to go out and get other bids. There's a section in there that Chuck has first right to refusal.
Yep.
It's like a requirements contract. So I think that contract was put together well, and it was a 4-to-1 vote, and I think it was a good deal, and there should be no question about whether Chuck gets his money.
Thank you, Jerry. Trina.
Well, yeah, there's no question he gets his money, but, you know, we'll just, you know, review everything when the time comes. We don't need to spend time
We have other things that have to come first.
first.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Okay, then we're on D, discussion of who is responsible for maintaining the wooden fence between Hermosa Hills Housing Development and Southern Hills RV Park. I think we have some new information on that, don't we, Joe?
We do?
Was that a we do with a question, or was that a we do?
Well, there was some minutes that I put in there. Well, the new packet that I put there is everything.
What about this crap that I have up here? Not there. Not there.
Is it sitting there?
Well, probably, but I have so much paperwork that I have
It says,
Here,
it's this one, yeah.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, Hermosa Hills fence, it says at the top, that's all, the whole permit and everything. We had someone living at the end there, the fence is falling down, and they called to complain. They want to know who is responsible for fixing the fence.
Okay.
So I don't know,
I believe in the agreement that it was possibly the campground that is responsible for that. Jerry?
No, the campground is not responsible for it, according to the plat, and the person who put it in was the developer, and the developer is responsible, that the fence is put on the private property.
Right.
One of the things that got missing and didn't happen was that when those people bought the property, they weren't told they had to do it. But that fence is on the property of the
Yes.
the
Citizen.
houses, and it's their responsibility. It was put in originally by the contractor.
Jill?
I did a lot of research on this. I did not find any minutes, any information anywhere that made the campground responsible to maintain the fence. We do have in our ordinance, under fencing, 15573C, property owners shall be responsible for the maintenance of the fencing, walls, and hedges on their property, and for removal of any fence, wall, or hedge if it becomes unsightly or a menace to public safety, health, or welfare. That fence is on all of those folks' property line.
So if they want to take the fence down, they can. Does it say they have to keep the fence up?
I believe it does, Jerry.
Yeah, it goes back to the original deal when the campground was there before the housing development was there. So it was in the plat and stuff, is that the developer was responsible to put the fence in, not the campground.
But who's responsible for
For
maintaining?
maintaining.
The property owner.
owner.
So,
I
Because that's
see,
what
I
it's on
think the
their
property owners.
okay, but if the property owner wants to take the fence down, can he do that?
If you go back to, there has to be a buffer between the commercial and the residential.
Okay.
And the commercial was there first, therefore the residential of it. So they have the responsibility to keep the fence up.
Okay.
There was an elderly gentleman there, and his whole fence blew down, and he didn't have the capabilities, he didn't have the money. I got with Leo Van Sandberg, and between getting some posts and his digger and stuff, and some assistance from John Preston, we put his fence back in. But no, it is. But the one thing, and I know who the individual is, and I know it's Trent's son, and things Trent's talk about is there was nothing in their deed that says they had to do that, other than what the ordinance says. So, that is, yeah, it's pretty much clear that it's not the campground. Now, do you go back after the developer? I would say not. But anyway, that's just my input.
Dan?
Pretty much in that subdivision ordinance is when that was established, where the buffer is what it was for the commercial side. And then when that happens, if there isn't a covenant put on with the development, then it becomes the homeowner's responsibility. If that homeowner so chooses not to do it, then it's going to take a statement from the campground expressing they want the privacy to be able to start the situation of the homeowner repairing the fence. But just like what Donna said, if the guy wants to take the fence down, there isn't a lot that can be done because there isn't covenants stating it. It was done per ordinance for the buffer with the development, and the development is done. And this happens so many times in developments that there's not a follow through with the covenants, that the developer is still responsible, or that it's in the sale of the lot, that the lot owner is responsible for that portion of the fence from there on. And specifically states that then that landowner may do as they see fit if they don't want to put the money into it. if they don't want the privacy, which I would think all of them would, but
If nothing else, it blocks the north wind.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, well, any thoughts from board members?
I just think they should be contacted and say, the way we see it, it's on your property and you're responsible for taking care of the fence.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good to me.
I think we also need to add the fact that it was there, put there for a buffer, sound from campground to, and privacy from for both entities.
Well, it needs to be stated that it is on their property.
And it is on their property, yes. Joe?
So they would be responsible for maintaining it. What if a person wanted to put up a newer, better fence? That would certainly be acceptable.
That would be acceptable.
If it doesn't match, it would be okay?
No, it doesn't need to match, because if I put up a fence and my neighbor puts up a fence, mine might be chain link, his might be,
I would think they'd
pitchforks, who
want
knows?
a wood fence, so.
What?
I would think they would want to replace it with wood.
Would, I would think so too. I would not, there's still the issue of the buffering, and that needs to be very plain in the letter that, make sure that's what you really want, because that is a buffer for you and the campground, so. Okay, and before you send that out, we'll read it, look it over.
Yeah.
Okay, any comments, questions? Jerry?
We might have to look at it, because it might still be on a piece that I haven't sold. I sold the campground, I gotta look and see where that fence is going down at. Was that in lot 10?
It's the very last one.
That'd be lot 10. Yeah, the campground don't own that, no, I own that now.
Okay.
It was, well, I didn't sell it, because they didn't buy it, so.
Okay. Well, it's still a buffer.
Yeah, it's
And
still
they're
a buffer.
still close enough for sound from the campground, and privacy, so,
And there still is on their property.
right, thank you. Chuck?
I think
Quick.
it needs to stay where it's at and be maintained, because that's what it was put in there for, was a buffer and sound and that type of thing.
Yep.
If people wanna change it, then it's not gonna match, and if they decide they don't want it, you're gonna have holes in it here and there on this property and not that property. It needs to stay there and be made of the same material.
Trina?
I don't think we have that right to say that because there's not a covenant.
Right, I agree.
It'd be nice if it was nice and orderly like that.
It would be nice, but we don't have the right. Yep. Okay. Did we have a motion? Did we make a motion to discuss that? No. So
No.
we don't need a motion either.
You just had discussion.
Yeah. Okay. My agenda, there it is. So that brings us to the end of our meeting. Heck, who knew? So we are on items from citizens. Any comments, questions, Jerry?
I just want to say, I think it was a very well-run meeting.
Thank you.
Everybody had their opportunity to speak. I just thanks the board for that.
To me, that's very important. I believe that it's sometimes takes more than twice. And my reasoning for that is because just for instance, what Donna says maybe is something I hadn't even considered. And so that it then brings up a thought in my mind. And if you stop the discussion, not all the information is going to be out there. And I'm a firm believer in that, but thank you for mentioning it. Trina?
I'd like the board to consider not waiving the vendor fees next year.
Okay?
We have lost a lot of money by waiving those fees, and obviously people do want to do business in Hermosa, and we should enjoy that. That's right.
Okay, thank you. Dan?
I enjoy the new members. I think everybody is doing excellent. I appreciate that. I appreciate the contention of where everything is headed. I think it's pretty exciting on the new movements. I appreciate the staff. I think they're much more relaxed with the changes and the positive motion forward. So I think that helps the environment. So I think everything is going in a good direction. And I believe the same way. We were involved in the whole Hermosa Connect thing, you know, with this side of the town. And I think, you know, there was a lot of stuff there that was involved where the sales tax revenue in the beginnings were going to be involved more on the community side, and now they're out of the community side and the county side. So there's a big advantage there. And there was a lot of things where I almost felt like the town was kind of taken away or out of control. We didn't have abilities where things were being done, and then at the end, you know, we jumped in where there was a liability on some of the road closed signs that were left going into dark, and I was afraid somebody would run into them because they weren't being moved, and the ones that were moved were not moved all the way out, so we took care of that aspect.
Thank you for taking care of that.
Thought of the liability side of it, but I think you're exactly on that right page where with that many vendors and where the circumstances is, I know the girls, there's a lot of work there, but I feel we need to be the ones charging and moving forward and more directional in how things are going. It's a great event, great people. Don't get me wrong about any of that. There was a lot of hard work, a lot of involvement. We appreciated that, but there was some split in the midst of it that really the personalities were pretty strongly.
Well, I wasn't around, I didn't see any of it, I had my family reunion. I appreciate everybody that worked towards it and went to it and enjoyed it. I wish I could have. Next year, there won't be a family reunion, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. I do think the town needs to look at that a little harder. In this case, the town could have allowed that vendor to be on its property, you know? And so
Then you're taking away from Hermosa Connects.
it is, competition is good. Competition is a good thing, and there's no taking away from anything. If they have the product to sell and somebody wants to buy their product, then that's a good thing. If they want a different flavor of coffee or a different type of tea or a different type of hamburger that they are not providing, then it's giving, you know, the America's famous
But then
competition.
you're not really turning it over to Hermosa Connects, and that is their event.
It is their event,
Yeah.
agreed. Go ahead.
I just wanted to know if there's any other citizens that had a comment.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to,
Oh, we're done with that comment? We will discuss that for next year, how's that?
Right.
Next.
if I may finish too.
Thank you.
I think there's a lot of things on the agenda that you probably want to remove, that you didn't make a motion to do.
Oh, you're right, thank you.
So I
we have
think
to do
that'll
that?
clear your agenda off for next meeting too, but thank you.
Jill,
Terry already decided we don't need to make a motion
Well, I don't know,
to remove something.
why did we do
Kent,
that?
why do we have to make a motion to remove the item off the agenda? Why can't we just remove it if we've finished?
Made a motion
If you
and
voted
it's
on
done.
it and made a motion, doesn't that automatically?
How did it get on the agenda? Is it something that was there due to, it was placed on it due to another official act that needed additional action?
Some of
take
it
place?
comes from the previous agenda, gets moved to the next one. Some of it's.
Right. So I would say that the ultimate arbiter of the agenda content, being the board president, can make that decision.
Okay.
Now, if there is an item that is proposed to be removed,
and somebody wants to challenge that, then the official action would say, more importantly, the official action would say, no, we need to keep this on, we need to address this, and not just gonna not have it on there, you know. So I don't know that it needs an official act.
See, what we had before, why it was brought up and was back with Mitch, is that if there's an item on the agenda and the individual, whether it's president, vice president, or finance officer takes it off and the other board members didn't have a say that they agreed to take that off, then there's a contention there of why wasn't that subject left on there? I wanted to have further discussion or further review or further situation. So it gave a fairness to the board, whether they agreed or not
That's a
agreed
good
to
point.
remove all them items.
That's
And
a
that's
good,
the only reason Mitch.
yeah,
brought it
and that's a
up.
good point, which also kind of leads to, as the reason why agenda items are there tabled, or whatever official act, you know, you do with that item.
Ready for a beer?
When in doubt, vote on it.
Hold on.
That's what,
I've just, in all the minutes I've taken, I've never
yeah.
done that.
So I'll be right with you, Jerry. In,
I think I might be, I need to check into that, or check Roberts on that.
And I couldn't find it, I didn't find
Because
anything in Robert's rules about it.
If it's on there, it's on there for a reason.
Right.
And it deserves to be addressed one way or the other. And that, and by addressing it, even to take it off, should be done officially. That's how I
Okay,
retract
but
my
even-
previous statement.
Even if you vote on it and it's unanimous and everybody passes it, that doesn't remove it from the agenda?
No, and that's what it would take. If it's voted to be tabled, it's voted to be whatever, but it's voted to be removed, whether or not it was resolved, that still takes, you know, would be, I think, advisable to have that be a vote of the board. That way you don't have someone being able to can something without full consideration. There's a reason it's on the agenda in the first place, I think.
well, right, there is a reason, and we handled it. So,
Oh, if it's handled, then take it off.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean,
handled,
if
take
we-
it off.
Yeah,
But
you
there
shouldn't
we
have
go.
to have it in.
And if you did, I mean, if it was moved to the next meeting, then it, of course, it's
Then
gonna
it's
be on the
going
next
to the next,
agenda.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, if it was, it's on there, we voted, they all voted yes, why do we have to have a motion to remove it from the agenda?
You wouldn't, because you've dealt with it
Because we've
effectively.
dealt-
That is
that's-
one of the
and
ways to
that's
get it
where
off.
I'm-
is
There
prove
we
it.
go.
Prove it or
Yeah.
deny it or
And that's
whatever.
how my experience has been in the minutes I have taken.
Yes, yes.
It-
And
Okay.
that is just as effective of an action as anything else. If it's approved, denied, or whatever,
Okay,
then it's done. Just take it off.
But if
Yeah.
it's
Very
moved, I
good.
mean, absolutely, we move it to the next agenda.
okay. Jerry, anything?
Sorry.
Yes, in Robert's rules, it's pretty clear.
Thank you, Jill.
There's certain things that you have to happen, and if the action is taken, like Terry's saying, the action is taken, and then that can come off. But
But if it's,
but if it's not, if it's moved someplace else, agenda
Well, it's
item has to
automatically
be
gonna be
either
moved.
addressed or moved
moved
someplace
to
else.
another,
I think, yeah.
right,
And-
absolutely.
That's correct.
And Robert's rules are correct like that.
Mhm.
I continued to do it the way it was done before me,
Yeah.
and to make that motion, and that's where it was, so.
I think
It is
that's accurate way to do it.
Dan, quick.
And also, as I went through Robert's rules, something we were doing before that should have been changed is that the clerk, as it says in Robert rule, as the president, is always supposed to ask everybody if there's anything before the meeting that they want on the agenda to be able to be put in. Before, we used to use the president as the one who allowed it, and if not, then it didn't get put on the agenda. I was wrong. As I read through Robert's rules and found that, yes, the clerk is to ask everybody, is there anything else that you want for business to be
Yes.
added onto the agenda? And then so be, and then the clerk is the one to advise the board, direct the board, guide the board as she gets into that familiarity. If she sees something that isn't, feel that it's a good agenda item, then she'll come to the pres and vice pres and ask them, is this worth that while?
Right. Thank you, Dan. And I was gonna mention that.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that you have the right to put something on the agenda if you feel it's necessary, and so do you. Any member does. This is, yeah, I'm not,
and I and
any,
Jill can add.
and you
to-
and Jill can add if it's important.
And that's what
And-
Mitch had told us.
Absolutely. So, okay, we got that one taken care of?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Any other trustee input? Or, not trustee, excuse me, citizen input?
Oh, I am happy that you put trustee input back on.
Oh, why, thank you, okay, very good, thank you. Trustee input, and we are having a short executive session, by the way, sorry. Trustee input?
Yeah, I appreciate the comments from the public out there, and I think that we had a great meeting tonight. And Vicky's not here, but I was gonna say, I appreciated her pointing out last meeting that we should have followed the rules to add something to the agenda during the meeting and stuff like that, which is in Robert's rules, so I was gonna point that out, but you know, I do like, and I do appreciate the fact that we're all trying to adhere to the rules by which we're supposed to conduct ourselves here, so, you know, and I'd also like to add that, you know, in my opinion, I don't know that we'll have time, but I do think we should have a work session that's dedicated to Robert's rules, and maybe if it's just an unofficial work session, so we could get it done more quickly, then I could volunteer to lead that, and anyone that want to show up, we could, you know, go through it. I mean, public and everybody
Okay.
invited, so.
Thank you.
anyways, Yep.
Thank you, Cal. Very
fine.
nice. All right, Donna, trustee input?
It was a good meeting.
Okay. I'd like to thank everybody for being here. I'd like to thank everybody for their comments and their opinions. I do really appreciate it. And I want to wish everybody a very happy 4th of July and safe 4th of July. Enjoy, everybody. And I'll see you, anybody that wants to be here for the work session a week from tonight, you are very welcome. Regular meeting will be 2 weeks from tonight. Thank you very much. And now I would like a motion to go into executive session for legal and personnel reasons.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are going into executive session at 8:46.
I can get Chuck right on you.
I need a motion to come out of executive session at 9:09.
I make that motion.
Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Please turn on the recorder. There will be a motion made coming out of executive session to give the attorney permission to write up a sign about conduct and policy, whatever conducts it within the office building.
Putting everybody that's in the office on, citizens that come in for whatever reason, obviously for city business, that there's there's guidelines and codes of conduct that will be required and expected, and if they're deemed to be violated, in the sole discretion of the personnel in the office, where they feel it's keeping them from doing, you know, their work, that they will be advised and pointed out that and it is posted, that you have to remove yourself upon request. If not, you can be removed by force, be considered trespass, and the sheriff will be advised to remove anybody that's deemed to be in trespass.
Okay. I made that motion. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion, Jerry?
Yes, I came in and I taped both of my meet times I was in here. I was not out of line, and one of the people in the office, they got real out of line. And I don't know if you shared that tape with anybody or not.
I heard it. Yeah, I mean,
But I was not out of line with her at all. I wasn't. But I will comply when I come in, and I will continue to use the recorder.
Very good. That is fine. Use your recording, and when we get the sign up, you can read the sign, as everybody will be asked to do so, and we'll move forward from there. One more comment, Jerry.
Yes, and another thing, just like what happened to this young lady here, stuff got put out on the deal. There's only one person that has control of the pictures that come off of that camera, and that's Jill. How did it get over onto the other deal? There needs to be some code of conduct and how people are treated also by the office personnel. And when someone hears something, like a board member, and they go running to everybody in town and say, oh geez, Jared was yelling and screaming at everybody in the office, and I had recordings that showed where I wasn't.
Well, the recording was clear, and face it, let's call a spade a spade. You had a recording, you knew it was being recorded, therefore you were on best behavior, and you got Jill to a point to just, she went ballistic on you. I agree, she was out of line.
I didn't get her.
But it's the time and time again, from what I understand. I didn't see any of it, but I know that the finance officer, assistant finance officer aren't making stuff up either. So, for previous times, where nobody was recording and they were getting they felt they were being very confronted. And so, in their sole discretion going forward, if they feel that in the slightest way, not to be unreasonable, not like say, like, get the hell out, even if you feel like you're not doing anything. But I like the idea that when you do, just for your own protection, everybody's edification, record it. But that recording is one, maybe two times you had a recording. And you got it to put to a point where she went off on you. I get that.
And she went off on me because I did call in about, I was standing out there talking to,
Jerry, I'm gonna stop. None of it matters. We heard it, we know what happened, we admit that she also went off on you. This is a matter of going forward. And we're gonna go forward, we're all gonna read the sign and approve it, and it will be hanging here in the office and we'll go forward. We want everybody to get along, we want everybody to be able to work and do their jobs, and when we want to go forward in this town, and we're getting there, You heard, the construction bid's going out soon. I told you I was excited then, now you know I'm really excited about this, so let's just move forward, okay? Thank you. On that note, Donna.
I just like to say that it totally isn't against one single person.
No, it isn't. No,
There are other
issues.
people in town that have a real problem with coming in here.
There are other issues, Jerry,
Yeah,
so,
so
okay?
it's,
I would
it's for
entertain,
the safety of the employees of our town.
yeah, the motion.
What do we do?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried, thank you. And yes, you're right. Thank you for mentioning that. I should have thought of that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
it's not just,
Yeah.
it's a
It's not
safety
just one
feature.
person.
No.
And it should have been posted up there
One thing
before.
to be
And it
very-
should have, yes.
People be very aware of, it's a pretty serious infraction to threaten a public officer, which a finance officer would be. So, and there's been times where we got a point with many people or other people over the years. I mean, it happened with some folks when I was Somerset, back in a long time ago.
A long time ago now, yeah.
And who was the one that came from Box Elder over here that
That you took away from us?
No.
Rebecca?
No, Rebecca, yeah.
Oh.
I took Box Elder, you took Rebecca from Box Elder. And then I went to
Remember
Somerset,
Rebecca.
and I took, then Somerset
Who was the one that went from here to Somerset?
That was Rebecca.
Was that Rebecca? Is she still around?
Was that?
She is still around.
Is she?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. She
I haven't
had
seen her in a long
lots of
time.
cancer problems.
Did she?
but
Yeah,
yes.
I knew her health
Yeah.
wasn't good.
But anyway,
I make a motion we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
at 9:16, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Kent, very much.